Hello and welcome to week 2 of ABL's top plays. Starting us off at number 5, White Lotus looked to pick off a Dora girl near the Baron. At the same time, Loki Dosi is able to outplay Akali under the turret for a solo kill, which gives his team the confidence they need to find the clean ace.
Now we see on that top side a fight. Loki Dosi actually almost goes down but survives. Meanwhile in the jungle we have the rest of the fight. The extended fight is going. K-Man is tanking everything as the ace in the hole collects the third. And that is going to be another big fight breaking out. A possible ace coming here as Aika is going to go down. A double kill for the Nico and an ace.
Next up at number 4, Grim Legion think they've caught out Sablane, but a nice flash gives the rest of his team room to collapse. Kessler blocks off Dynasty's escape route, and Rat teleports in to finish the job.
Morgana gonna see if he can save it. Not quite. It looks like Friesman's actually gonna be the one here who goes down as we see Jarvan coming so strong. Yeah, TP coming with Weaver's Wall as well. Now we're seeing Drak coming here with a World Ender. Keesler's taking a lot of damage, but Rat has coming through with the ADC slain. Rooted comes through for Keesler. Is gonna be able to get out, but the burn just does so much damage to sap him.
And at number 3, D-Dog and Khan exchange blows on the top side, and Khan feigns retreat before flashing in for the solo kill.
Enough. On that top side gets a nice straight down. That's half health. Binding goes a little bit wide. This might be Khan's trade. XXGLP is available. Nice play there, but a nice slicing maelstrom is going to catch him out. The flash into the kill is going to secure it.
Coming in at number 2, Velvet and D-Dog are once again at each other's throats, but this time their team is there to back them up. Lamb's Respite keeps everyone alive until Kessler shows up huge with a triple kill on his AP Lulu.
But Ryan is there to pick it up and go for the kill. But look at this engage here. The root coming through on Rat. Ryan has to get out now. Ultimate from Vlad. Gonna do so much damage with the E to pair with it. Not quite. We do see Lulu coming to save the Vlad here, just barely getting his health back up. Cruz is chasing down. Khan goes down as Kessler flashes in the back like that's gonna be a double kill. Now Cruz is gonna have to get out of it before we see a triple. The burn is coming through. He goes under turret to finish off for an amazing triple of 5-1. Assassin Kessler on the Lulu.
And finally, at number 1, Team Fish Taco are looking to put an end to Recon 5's reign. Although Tanzo is able to land a massive backline pop blossom that wins his team the fight, Team Fish Taco were able to buy enough time for Azuki's back door to finish off the Nexus.
Going to fall Dillian, possibly looking for a potential engage, but look at Azuki shoving in the bot wave. The first Nexus turret might be falling soon as the on the hunt comes through from Yuki Bunny. They're looking to possibly turn this around. Tides of the Sanguine Pool will come through from Chromosomes, the ultimate from Tonzo. Chromosomes will fall, but look at this, Azuki trying to end. He's got the Baron empowered minions. Can he do this all on his own? He's taken down the final Nexus. It's a 1v3. Nexus is on half HP. The double kill comes over from Sedillion, but it's not enough. Azuki is able to end, and Team Fish Tacos will take it.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of ABL Top Plays. We'll see you next week as we track the league's biggest plays around Summoner's Rift.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the ABL Season 7 Week 3 as Recon 5 take on Dynasty eSports. Both teams currently tied for second place. I'm your play-by-play caster, Milky Cereal, and joining me is Rebel Fox.
Yeah, good time. We get Recon 5 together once again. We did it, I think, last Monday, was it? We did it last Monday. We're doing it again this Thursday. Back at it again with the boy Milky Chance. Let's go.
Yeah, and last week, Recon 5, they had a bit of a tough start against Team Fish Tacos. They lost game 1, but they came back with the reverse sweep to win it 2-1. And now against Dynasty, this may be a bit more of a challenge for them as we have entered picks and bans. And we're going to see that Kiana getting banned now that it is open to the teams.
Yeah, I think a team like Recon 5, they have so many people that are capable of playing the Kiana between Sindillion, Tanzo, even like Moody could probably pull that one off in the jungle. So don't give them the chance to play anything like that.
And speaking of Moody, we saw the Elise a couple of times coming through, a pretty big pick for him. So something that I would like to see potentially coming through for him if it doesn't get banned away.
Yeah, I would also like to see that. It's still a strong champion. I'm surprised we don't see more of it. It's early game, does really good damage, has CC, can do pick comp, can do team fight. It's surprising that more people don't play it. So certainly if it gets through, I'd love to see it locked for Moody if he doesn't get his hands on the Nidalee. I expect that to be the ban here from Dynasty.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing the Kazakhs, the J4, and the Nico being banned away. So a few jungle prio bans coming in. Potentially might also see the Sejuani ban coming through as well.
That they might. It's interesting. It does look like they're trying to get a lot of pressure from Moody here. So they really want him to kind of get through. Looks like they didn't get a ban off Mordekaiser, so they banned out there. So no jungle bans from the side of Dynasty. They're just really willing to take this matchup.
As we're going to see the Xayah being banned away, and that leaves a lot of stuff up. And one of those things is Sindillion's Lux, which we saw getting picked twice last week against Team Fish Tacos, and that's open, as is the likes of the Sivir, the Karma as well.
Yeah, you have Sivir, you have Karma, you have Aatrox, you have so many of these like top tier picks at the moment currently available. Plus, like we said, we have like we have Moody's like Nidalee. We have a couple of other big things that we've seen these teams play. It's just shocking that not only like the jungle bans are nice, some of the targeted bans might be nice, but all the power picks are still here for both these teams. So we got to see what they pick up because obviously everything's on the table at the moment.
Yeah, and I mentioned Moody's Elise. I completely forgot about his Nidalee because that was insane last week. But the Lux being picked up, as we mentioned, the Sivir and the Lux both getting taken up. Karma's still open, and that Lux can get obviously played by Sindillion or even in the support because it is really big there.
Yeah, still super strong. Fits into quite a bit of compositions. I do like the poke composition, so Nidalee I think would be a nice lock in here. Although again, if they lock Aatrox, that's something else. Again, that fits into both their solo lanes. Super powerful. Ooh, another good one. Yeah.
There we go. The Yumi's going to be coming in, so potentially might be seeing the Ezreal. And with Sivir having already been locked in for Dynasty, they can't exactly take that away from Recon 5.
Yeah, interesting. I'm curious to see whether they're willing to do something crazy like a Yuumi Lux bot lane and actually just try to outpoke people and just roam around the map as like a hit squad, because these two have so much poke damage and so much healing and shielding potential. It's difficult for even someone like a Sivir with the wave clear she has to get aggressive on them. So obviously you're thinking right now it's Sindillion's Lux in the mid lane against this Talia now, but it's not impossible to see them pull something crazy. And Soraka, hey.
I have not seen a Soraka in so long. This is, it feels like a breath of fresh air upon me. Good old Soraka.
Yeah, it's pretty good. This is actually a super good counter to the Yuumi for a lot of reasons. Her healing is more potent. Her poke is AoE and it's on shorter cooldown than Yuumi. And her silence, now I haven't actually checked this because I've never seen it personally, but if I had to guess, her silence prevents Yuumi from either leaving or entering somebody. So that means that Yuumi's stuck in whoever is stuck in that silence. So if you get a good silencing zone, Yuumi has no mobility, no way to get out of that situation. So couple that with something with lots of CC, lots of good movement. All right, hold on. There's 3 supports on the side.
I was about to bring this up. What's going on?
Okay, they could still. This is still easily a composition. You're talking like this could be Lux mid, Yuumi support, Karma top. This could still be like a Lux Yuumi bot lane or a Karma Lux bot lane, Yuumi Karma bot lane with a Lux in one of the other lanes, or with a Karma in one of the other lanes. But right now, this is screaming solo carry. You're talking, this is a Vayne, this is a Jinx, which just got banned out. This is a Kai'Sa. They want a superpower one pick to absolute monstrosity with multiple supports. I'm super excited to see who gets it and what it is.
Could it potentially be a Twitch as well?
Yeah.
I mean, something I've always kind of considered of and always thought that's not going to work is Twitch Yuumi funnel. Could that be a thing, or am I just out of my mind?
So with a Twitch Yuumi funnel, they have no way to clear jungle camps fast. So like Twitch's jungle is completely reliant on his ability to gank people. So a Twitch Yuumi funnel wouldn't be great. Although the idea of a Twitch funnel would be cool with something like Karma. Karma has AoE on the Q, the shielding, and then also like the ults to be able to fight people alongside of Twitch. And her shields can help them roam around the map. So it wouldn't be shocking to see something like that. Twitch is super strong. Right now, he's the best late game champion in the game. It wouldn't shock me to see them go for something like that. Did they not ban?
Delusion getting picked up.
Okay. Sejuani was the final ban on Recon 5.
Yeah, and we talked about the Ezreal Yuumi potential, but that got banned away from the Dynasty did ban that away. Lucian getting picked up, and I almost want to see another support coming in, but the Hecarim going to get locked in from Dynasty, so is that going to be a Hecarim top and a Taliyah jungle, or Hecarim jungle, Taliyah mid?
Probably Hecarim jungle, Taliyah mid. I like the Hecarim pick with 3 supports. It means that you can separate, you can completely break a team fight basically entirely in 2. Try to separate out the Lux or the Karma away from this Yuumi Lucian to get them away. They still need more damage on the side of Recon 5, but this Hecarim pick is huge. It gives them the ability to gank, and it gives them plenty of damage. Okay, we'll see what they do.
As we're going to see the Jace getting picked up, and one thing we were talking about before we went live is Rat, the top laner for Dynasty, pretty big for them, and we wanted to see him on something that could carry, and Jace definitely something that can do that.
Absolutely. I'm actually not super in love with Dynasty's composition. I do want to see what Recon 5 takes into it before I divulge into why, but...
So with this final pick, what will Recon 5 take is gonna be the Vi jungle, and this Recon 5 team, it's screaming at me, it's saying, Milky, we are early game, we are going to try to clap as hard as we can, super fast, and end this as quickly as we can.
Yeah, so this Recon 5 composition that they've designed is not designed to fight 5v5, and it's also not designed really to do anything fantastically. You can't split push with anybody but the Lucian and the Yuumi. You can't take objectives super quick unless you just have a super powerful Lucian Vi. So obviously they're looking to get skirmishes early, looking to just kind of bulldoze down. Just shocking to see they took so little damage, not tons of tank, and they're willing to play this kind of style that's not great at team fighting either. I don't see this as a Recon 5 style team, but certainly if they bring it out and it works, it works.
Yeah, and it's just so much poke as well coming in from the Lux, from the Yuumi, from the Karma, and then combining that with the likes of Lucian and Vi. If they can find anyone, they're going to be able to get so much damage off so quickly. Not even the Soraka is going to be able to heal Dynasty back up.
Yeah. That's fine. The other big thing that I noticed, like I said, I'm not in love with Dynasty's composition for a few reasons. The Hecarim is amazing. I love the Hecarim, the Sivir, and even the Soraka. I think those are all great picks. The Taliyah doesn't scream fantastic to me. The wall is nice, the roaming is nice, but certainly I like as a lane pick into the Lux, I don't think it's phenomenal. I think if they get to one item, then I don't know if Taliyah is as effective as a Lux is at just clearing waves and being there for her teammates. The same goes for Jace. Like Jace can split push and do a really good job of that, but he's into a Karma. He's not going to get tons of solo kills most of the time into Karma, especially not into Tanzo's Karma. And so you have these like kind of aggressive, like snowball-y champions in like the Taliyah, the Jace, trying to get around the map, but like they don't do much for team fighting other than throw damage in. So to me, like I said, you're playing into lanes like a Karma or like a Lux that can do what you do and provide support in the skirmishes in the mid game. So if Jace and Taliyah don't get off to an early start, they're going to struggle. The one way around that is Taliyah could go something like, Glacial Augment, try to provide support and just try to scale Sivir as fast as possible. Then you have to deal with a Soraka and a Sivir combination with CC from Taliyah and Hecarim breaking up fights. That's the best way Dynasty can win the game as long as Jace is playing split push. If they go for a more standard comp, the way that they're supposed to build on these champions, I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah, and Rebel, you mentioned earlier as well, Hecarim coming in, breaking apart the supports from that Lucian. Could the Tilia not work as well then? Because then you could be getting that Weaver's Wall in, or even the Seismic Shove, just to separate the Recon 5 members further from each other.
Like I said, if you're using these abilities as just like CC and zoning potential, that's the best way you can use Talia. The reason Hecarim works better at it is because if he goes Warrior Triforce, he can kill a support in basically one combo. And his ultimate fears everybody that he hits. So you're talking, this isn't just like one person being broken off from the fight. This is everyone spreading out from one another, allowing Jace to get into a hammer, Talia to actually pull somebody, Soraka to silence somebody off, just get some more pick potential and cause havoc in the fight. Talia doesn't do that as much as she controls the zone in front of her. And you're talking again, this is Lux, this is Yuumi, this is Karma. So much poke potential from the supports that if Lucian and Vi have the space to work with when the Talia is poked out, they can cause chaos and absolutely destroy without having to worry about it.
You mentioned Jace going into Karma in the top lane. You said it's going to be a bit tricky to find those kills onto Karma. What about this mid lane, the Talia going into the Lux? How's this going to pan out?
Like I said, ever since Talia has gotten some of the changes that she has good single target damage. It's not bad. She just is in a place where, like, I don't think there's a phenomenal build for her. I don't think that Luden's into like Lethal or into Magic Pen is fantastic. I don't think Pure AP is very good. Even her GLP build, which is probably the best you can do right now, is that effective compared to like Ahri if you're to run it, or one of the other champions that would run that Glacial Augment out of the mid lane. And Lux is so strong right now. Like, even if Lux gets behind, as long as Talia isn't getting every single kill, Lux will still help her teammate. She can still build support items, still be this beast. Like, once Talia has, even GLP Talia, once she has GLP, once she has Twin Shadows, at that point, her damage falls off, and all she is utility for things like the Jace and the Sivir. And again, into a composition like the one they have with multiple supports across all roles, I don't know how much that helps.
Yeah, and you mentioned buying those support items on the Lux. I want you to make a prediction for me, Rebel. How many Ardent Sensors are we going to see from Recon 5?
Lord. They only need one because there's only one person that really uses it, which is the Lucian. And even he doesn't actually use Ardent Sensor that well. I guess the multiple procs from his, like, the Light Slinger isn't terrible with, like, Ardent Sensor procs, but it's not the super oppressive item it was at one point. I don't think they need it on everybody. What's more terrifying to me is, like, if this were into a composition with tons of CC, you could have seen 3 or 4 Mikhails built on this team, and like nobody gets CC'd ever. But again, there's no hard CC taken on the side of DYN, except for maybe the Hecarim, and then the Soraka obviously has that silence. So they can build higher AP builds and not get punished for it, because again, there is no CC. And obviously they don't have anybody that scales super duper well with attack speed. The Lucian is going to build mostly AD. I guess they could try to build multiple Ardent Sensors, give them a ton of attack speed, but I don't know how well either of these compositions works in this game.
I guess it's a bit late to say this, but I'm kind of surprised Recon 5 didn't pick the Ashe, because that's actually got a lot of poke, and with that new kind of, what is it, the Triforce Essence Reaver build, yeah, surely that would have been insane with this comp.
I know our producer would have loved that. That would have been hilarious also. He probably would have been like giggling to himself while the whole game was going like a funnel Ashe composition. But like I said, of all the champions to pick into like a funnel or into like a triple support composition, Lucian isn't terrible because it's good into the Sivir. So I guess they expect to win the laning phase, especially with a Vi. Like a Vi will destroy a Sivir Soraka lane as long as they're down. But if they get to super late game, even like a 3 support Lucian will not beat a Sivir. A Sivir just does too much damage, just has too much mobility. It makes no, like, why would you pick a Lucian over something that scales super, super well into the later stage of the game? And why not even go Draven? If you go super hard Draven and just try to oppress the Sivir, oppress the Soraka into the ground, they could shut down that lane and then just take it around the map and beat everybody down with it. Like, Lucian has to get a couple kills to get to that point first, so I guess they're counting on that to happen, but that's all I can make of Recon 5's composition.
Yeah, and I was super excited about this, but now that we talk about other possibilities, I'm starting to feel a bit down. Like, this could have been so much more exciting, potentially.
Like I said, like a Vayne would have been amazing. You can go triple Ardent Sensor Vayne with 3 Mikhail, and she never gets CC'd, is perma-invisible, and has tons of attack speed. That would have been amazing to watch, but it's just not going to happen in this one.
Yeah. And, you know, Rebel, you mentioned that from the side of Recon 5, they want these skirmishes, they want to, you know, find these picks. You've got 3 teleports coming from them, which, you know, that says we're looking to skirmish as much as possible.
Okay, in fairness, Lucian normally wouldn't take one, but he has the Yuumi with him. So Yuumi, if you get double effectiveness out of the teleport from the Lucian, because Yuumi can attach to him, and then you have 2 people collapse into one lane. Karma's always going to take one because it's a top laner, and Lux has it because Talia doesn't have the kind of damage necessary at the range Lux operates in order to kill her without a mistake. So Sindelian feels like he has the capability of taking TP without being punished. This isn't terrible. This isn't like completely out of this world. And it does allow them to say, okay, well, if we want to collapse 4 people, 5 people in top side, mid lane, bot lane, they can do that with these teleports and with Levi coming around the map. I think they do need to be proactive in order to take advantage of this game, because if they get to 20 minutes and they're up by 5,000-6,000 gold with 3 supports on an early game Lucian, they could easily take that game.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to look forward to. A Lux, a Karma, and a Yuumi all on the side of Recon. And a Soraka, yes, and a Soraka. 4 supports in one game. There is a lot to look forward to, but we're going to have to see whether Recon 5 have done their reconnaissance. We'll be right back after a short break. We'll be right back after a short break for game 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Recon 5 versus the Dynasty eSports for Game 1. If you haven't already, do hit us up with a subscribe on our Twitch. You do get points for viewing, following, and tipping, and all of the proceeds from the subscription go into making this stream even better for you. And just in case those points weren't enough, you can bet on who you think, on which team you think is going to win for even more juicy points. And with that underway, Rebel, let's have a quick overview of what we can expect to see in Game 1.
Yeah. So again, we have one side's 3 supports coupled with like a super hard engage on the Vi, and then you have the Lucian. So you're just trying to enable your Lucian as best as possible. Again, they're looking for skirmishes. Vi super strong early. Lucian's got a good early game. They have plenty of poke to work with, and not much, it's not easy to kill supports, especially things like Karma and Lux in the solo lane. So certainly they're looking to try to take advantages in the jungle and around the map and skirmishes to start with. Fortunately, for the side of DYN Dynasty, they're able to kind of combat that. They have things like the Hecarim, which is good at fighting early. They have the Jace, super strong. Even things like the Talia have good bursts in the earlier stages of the game. But honestly, here's what the expectation should be. Whoever's winning early duels will look to pressure around the map. Right now, Recon 5 has to win the early duels, has to get an advantage, because these 3 supports are very squishy and provide very little to nothing. Well, they do have their own advantages. They have like CC, protection, that kind of thing. But if the comp doesn't get ahead, the Lucian will struggle, and the way they fight is hard to do. Dynasty, on the other hand, if they get ahead early, they have plenty of ways to take this into late game. You're talking about split push Jace. You're talking about the Sivir scaling into the late game. Hecarim has plenty of ways to break up fights and just take advantage. So this team snowballing is a hugely difficult thing for Recon 5 to overcome. I think Dynasty has set themselves up to easier ways to win with their composition. The question is, how do they do it into double support solo lanes coupled with a Vi that can just body people? That's where you're looking. Pay attention to how the Jace versus Karma matchup, how the Hecarim comes around the map alongside Moody, and then how Kessler on this Talia works with his Dark Harvest into a poke mage like Lux. That's really going to make the difference in the game, and that's going to allow whether Recon 5 can actually use their comp to its fullest power.
Now, you mentioned Kessler with his Dark Harvest and Sindelian on the Lux with the Arcane Comet, but you're not quite a fan of that Dark Harvest, are you?
No? Okay. So, like I said, she's a mid-range mage. Obviously, if she gets a full combo off, she's going to be able to get Dark Harvest stacks. And if she's in skirmishes and she gets pick kills, gets assists onto people, she'll find them. But the problem is she has no way to proc it reliably in the laning phase. She doesn't have instant poke moves, things that track the opposition, things that can, great ways to just do it. Because Lux has such good access to wave clear, such good access to range and safety, getting Dark Harvest stacks against purely Lux is going to be difficult. Again, this game is going to look to be skirmish heavy. This game, they want to get around the map, want to try to involve everybody, and it just comes down to who operates their champions better. I do think the Dark Harvest was an optimal choice. I think they needed to do the GLP because GLP gives the Hecarim, the Jace, and the Sivir the best bet to win the fights in the mid game.
Yeah, and you talked about how Dynasty are going to want to get that little bit ahead to have that split pushing threat in the side lane. So can we expect to see Dorjan just staying in that kind of top side of the jungle, looking to find those picks onto Tonzo?
You can, but even with a Hecarim, there's no direct full CC, hard CC onto Tonzo if he wards properly. Thankfully for him also, he's on the red side. It's a lot harder to gank on the red side because all you can really do is come through the river or try to flank around backside of the Tribe Rush. As Hecarim, you have ways to get these ganks off, and certainly you have creative ways to go, but it is hard to gank a Karma because she has that speed up, has the W, especially the ult W, gives you so much health back. Coupled with the fact that she has this Klepto, so she's going to be getting gold advantage. She has the shield, so she can win trades against the Jace. I don't think Dorjan actually just wants to sit on the top side. I think he just needs to find advantage where he can. Going bot side, I think, isn't a terrible option in the early stage of the game. Lucian has his dash, Yuumi has her dash, but this Soraka can completely devastate them with one good silencing field. Then Dorjan can absolutely shred these two, especially with the Sivir alongside them. So I want Dorjan to go bot lane, try to get this Sivir Soraka ahead so they don't have to worry about the Lucian, who's the primary carry on the team, actually winning the game.
Yeah, and you talked about how you've got Boom Hunter on this to Yuumi, and if Friesman can land that Equinox, it will get the silence through, which will stop Boom Hunter from reattaching to anyone, and that could potentially leave quite a big window for, Boom Hunter to get deleted by Swifty, or even if Dorjan's looking around for a gank.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a great ability. Like I said, I think Soraka's a fantastic pick into this Yuumi and into the kind of composition that they have developed. I do think she struggles in late game, though. So, like, if it comes down to it later on, Yuumi has more range, really good speed ups, and dies less. Lux has more range and has hard CC immediately accessible, and Karma has faster speed ups, good shields, and then also the damage that just outclasses.
No. You mentioned that you'll have, the Soraka getting slightly out-poked, maybe outranged by Boom Hunter when we get to the late game. But this side of Recon 5, it kind of screams early game to me. Will we kind of hit a point, like, let's say if we got to 30 minutes, would it be a point of no return where we'd then expect to see Dynasty picking up the win?
Like I said, I don't think there's ever a point where either team definitively wins.
Okay, but it looks like we're getting news, so it seems that this pause is going to last for a bit longer because we are going to be getting a remake. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, actually, Rebel. So I guess we're just leaving the game then, and we'll be back in.
I want to take it.
I mean,
that way these people don't just have to listen to us ramble about the same game over and over.
Oh, we can ramble about a different game. I hear TFT's a thing.
No, it's not.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it appears we have got some updates on what's going to be happening as we make our way to game 1. So we're getting some technical difficulties which will last a little bit longer than expecting. So we're going to take a little bit of a bigger break than expected. So this is a perfect time for you maybe to stock up on some snacks or get in a little cheeky toilet break. But we'll be back after maybe a 15 to 20 minute break.
Hello and welcome to week 2 of ABL's top plays. Starting us off at number 5, White Lotus looked to pick off a Dora girl near the Baron. At the same time, Lokidosi is able to outplay Akali under the turret for a solo kill, which gives his team the confidence they need to find a clean ace.
Now we see on that top side a fight. Lokidosi actually almost goes down but survives. Meanwhile in the jungle we have the rest of the fight. The extended fight is going. K-Man is tanking everything as the ace in the hole collects the third. And that is going to be another big fight breaking out. A possible ace coming here as Aika is going to go down. A double kill for the Nico and an ace.
Next up at number 4, Grim Legion think they've caught out Sapling, but a nice flash gives the rest of his team room to collapse. Kessler blocks off Dynasty's escape route, and Rat teleports in to finish the job.
Morgana gonna see if he can save it. Not quite. It looks like Friesman's actually gonna be the one here who goes down as we see Jarvan coming so strong. Yeah, TP coming with Weaver's Wall as well. Now we're seeing Drak coming here with a World Ender. Keithler's taking a lot of damage, but Brad has coming through with the ADC slain. Rooted comes through for Keithler. Is going to be able to get out, but the burn just does so much damage to Sapling.
And at number 3, D-Dog and Khan exchange blows in the top side, and Khan feigns retreat before flashing in for the solo kill.
Enough. On that top side gets a nice straight down. That's half health. Binding goes a little bit wide. This might be Khan's trade. XXGLP is available. Nice play there, but a nice slicing maelstrom is going to catch him out. The flash into the kill is going to secure it.
Coming in at number 2, Velvet and D-Dog are once again at each other's throats, but this time their team is there to back them up. Lamb's Respite keeps everyone alive until Kessler shows up huge with a triple kill on his AP Lulu.
But Ryan is there to pick it up and go for the kill. But look at this engage here. The root coming through on Rat. Rye has to get out now. Ultimate from Vlad. Gonna do so much damage with the E to pair with it. Not quite. We do see Lulu coming to save the Vlad here, just barely getting his health back up. Cruz is chasing down. Khan goes down as Kessler flashes in the back like that's gonna be a double kill. Now Cruz is gonna have to get out of here before we see a triple. The burn is coming through. He goes under turret to finish off for an amazing triple of 5-1. Assassin Kessler on the Lulu.
And finally, at number 1, Team Fish Taco are looking to put an end to Recon 5's reign. Although Tanzo is able to land a massive backline pop blossom that wins his team the fight, Team Fish Taco were able to buy enough time for Azuki's back door to finish off the Nexus.
Going to fall in Dillian, possibly looking for a potential engage, but look at Azuki shoving in the bot wave. The first Nexus turret might be falling soon as the on the hunt comes through from Yuki Bunny. They're looking to possibly turn this around. Tides of Sanguine Pool will come through from Chromosomes, the ultimate from Tonzo. Chromosomes will fall, but look at this, Azuki trying to end. He's got the Baron empowered minions. Can he do this all on his own? He's taken down the final Nexus. It's a 1v3. Nexus is on half HP. The double kill comes over from Sedillion, but it's not enough. Azuki is able to end, and Team Fish Tacos will take it.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of ABL Top Plays. We'll see you next week as we track the league's biggest plays around Summoner's Rift.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 1 between Recon 5 and Dynasty eSports. It looks like we've got the technical difficulties out of the way, and bringing in some extremely revolutionary news is Rebel.
I'm not talking about this on stream.
Yes. Okay.
Our producer is literally gonna shit his pants if he talks about this on stream.
Okay. Language,
Sorry.
Rebel. Language, okay? Right?
Which one?
Anyway,
Okay.
English.
English.
Yes, the English language.
The only.
The only language.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, but anyway, I feel like we talked about this game a lot of times, but we're gonna do it once more. So, you know, break it.
We'll run back through it. We'll do as best we can. Okay. So, 3 supports on the side of Recon 5, aggressive picks on the side of Dynasty. Dynasty has the ability to have just cleaner ways to win the game all throughout. Of course, they have more standard composition. They have pretty easy picks, things like that. Champions that are strong early, things like Talia, Jace. Very clear. But we don't know how those match up into pure support matchups. You have Karma, you have Lux, you have even like the Yumi when it comes through to deal with these champions. So the question is Jace, is Talia strong enough to deal with Karma, Lux, and Lane well enough to prevent Lucian and Vi from taking over in these skirmishes and these 5v5s early, so that they don't have to worry about a Lucian running them over like a bulldozer? Because really, that's Recon 5's only way to win the game, is to enable the Lucian and the Vi, the damage dealers, to really pop off. That's the best way they can do it. Like I said, Dynasty has better ways to win, but Recon 5 does have a very clear win path. It's just harder to execute as the game goes on.
So can we expect to see, a battle of the Dynasty top laner right on that Jace versus Yuki Bunny on this solution, and a tale of two carries and who's able to carry harder?
Like I said, I think it just depends on what time in the game, how these lanes kind of operate. So like you said, you have Rat who's on a Jace. That's their early kind of power spike. If he goes the more split push route, I don't think he ever wins a pure 2v2 duel. But that's, I think, the ideal situation here. Because again, if you're the side of Recon 5, you have to send basically Karma. You can't send Lux really to the side lane, because if Jace dodges a single binding, he kills Lux in the pure 1v1. So you have to send Karma there. And taking a support out of this lineup, out of this like 5v5 lineup, is devastating for the side of Recon 5. One champion out of line could mean the death of them, especially with a composition like Sivir and Hecarim and Talia to chase people down. So I think they have to play as 5 on the side of Recon 5. So Rat is going to be a big way that they can try to pull attention away from the 5v5, away from allowing these supports to enable Lucian and Vi.
Yeah, and another thing I kind of want to bring up is, even if, Yuki Bunny and Moody start popping off and, they start getting objectives, start rolling in those, even the Baron empowered minions, etc., could we not get to a stage where we're just going to see Swifty, just with so much wave clear on that Sivir, just stall out the game until he's able to get his power spike from his items, and the same applying to Kessler as well?
Yeah, I think there absolutely does come a point in this game in which Swifty, like, how do you beat it? Like, you have 4 supports or 3 supports on the other side. If Lucian isn't strong enough to kill the Sivir on his own, or basically in a 5v5 team fight, there's no way to kill the Sivir. Like, all she has to do is spell shield away the Vi ultimate. Soraka keeps her alive through the entire exchange. Then you still have Hecarim that's disrupting on the backline. You have Jace disrupting on the backline. You have the zoning from Talia keeping anybody from coming forward beyond the Vi, or if she tries to come in or get out. Like I said, I think the later this game goes, the harder it becomes for Recon 5's composition to actually work. So they have clear way to win, but they also have a timer, and there's not much flexibility in their composition either. That's where it is. It's a lot harder of a composition to win with. Dynasties is easier to win with, but I don't know how much practice they have with Jace into Karma, Talia into Lux, and trying to prevent this from happening. So we have to see whether they can make that adaptation.
Yeah. And you said, Sivir has a spell shield, but then again, this Recon 5 lineup is not all about locking down. There's just so much poke on this team. And, if you're able to get away from that Vi ultimate, you still got the final chapter to deal with. You still got the light binding, even the slow from the Karma Q. There's a lot that you have to work around if you are Dynasty.
Yeah. I think the big thing also is, like, Dynasty has to control vision, because, of course, if Lux hits you with a binding, you probably die. If Vi catches you outside of your team, you probably die. The pick composition from Recon 5 is nice. It's not going to purely win them the game. I still think a 4v5 with the composition Recon 5 has, still winnable for Dynasty and even gold situation. But again, like I said, Lux binding, Yumi catching somebody, Vi catching somebody, that's a death warrant.
Yeah. A lot of catching out potential from Recon 5. We're going to have to see how that all goes, but we're going to be heading into a short break again, but we'll be right back with the start of Game 1 between Recon 5 and Dynasty eSports. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are into game 1 for Recon 5 versus Dynasty. Don't forget, if you haven't already, do subscribe to the ABL channel. You get to give some money to us, and we get to make our production even better for you, so it all comes round lovely. You also get points for viewing, following, and tipping, and subscribing, and you can get even more points by betting on the team that you think is going to win, or just your favorite team, to try to increase your points. But as we have made our way into the game, Rebel, both teams just going to fan out, and we aren't going to see anything too nasty at the start.
Oh man, here's the poke. Nice. All right, Arcane Comet, nice little poke onto Kessler there. Not bad. Not bad.
Okay.
Backing actually.
Gotta back. That's just too much damage coming through on Kessler. He's gonna back off. He needs to reset. Why
Too
not?
much, yeah, the 80 damage from the combination of the Q and the Arcane Comet was just too much for him to handle. Oh, Rat might actually, oh, okay, alright.
He might need to back as well now. But no, he's gonna make his way back up. He doesn't need to back for that 15 damages. Yuki Bunny taking a little bit of poke, but he's gonna back off.
No.
And everything's just going to settle down for now. Both junglers going to start on their red buffs. And we talked about before as well, you know, we can expect to kind of see Dorjan in this, potentially in the top lane, trying to get Rat ahead against Tonzo.
Yeah. Also, you noticed a little bit of a difference there between these two. So because Karma has the shield and the Skirmisher Shaver goes on to the Vi, she had the lifesteal, so she actually has a slightly healthier clear than the Hecarim's going to have, at least until he has the W and he's ready to use it on the AoE camps. I think that's going to at least even out at the moment. But obviously, Moody able to gank a little bit faster than this Hecarim should be able to with the health advantage. So top side, maybe looking to get Tonzo ahead pretty early. Vi's one of these champions that can certainly cheese at level 2 if he wants to, although it looks like he's packed his rappers. Come on, Moody, do something fun.
We're only 2 minutes into this game. I know we've been waiting a while, but still only 2 minutes in.
I'm antsy. Okay. Also, wait, okay, so I wanted to add to the plug a little bit. Okay, I'm not saying that it has any correlation. I'm just saying nobody had subscribed or donated, and we had to wait an hour. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm pointing out that.
I think we need Moody's long lost father to make a return.
I agree with that statement. I thought it was Tonzo. Isn't it Tonzo's long?
Oh, was it Tonzo's?
I think it was
know it was someone. Yeah, I think. So. Yes, yes, Tonzo, our MVP from last week, and everything, as we mentioned, is settling down, and Kessler hasn't been able to get one of those Dark Harvest stacks yet that we've been quite interested to see. And speaking,
here we go.
He's gonna get hit by the light binding. He's not gonna be able to land a W, and he's so low. One more attack would do it, and Moody somehow survives. No deaths just yet, and that is a very, very close call for both teams.
Yeah, singular health there from both Moody and Kessler. The barrier and the flash was burnt from the Talia, so they're going to be able to re-PK that pretty quickly. Although, you have to frustrate me, because obviously your color caster's a moron, and to start the game, this Talia has a Dark Harvest stack. So already incorrect in the prediction that it wasn't going to amount to much. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, the light binding's going to land onto Dorjan, nothing going to come through, and once again, just a stall. Lots of flashes have been burned. The flash from Kessler, Sindillion, and Moody all have been burnt. Of course, Dorjan doesn't have a flash to burn. This is why you don't take flash in Hecarim. You know, you can't get flamed for when you forget to use flash.
You can't get flamed for when you fail to flash.
Yeah, all you have to do is run. As in the top lane, Rat looking to get some damage, but he's just going to knock Tonzo back, and it's a fairly even trade coming through. Seeing a lot of potential, but the game hasn't really blown up just yet.
No. And again, this should be relatively controlled, at least for a little bit. Once first items start to come through, I think that's when these supports, they can do quite a bit of damage. They have the utility to really get ahead. That's really where it's going to start at. Again, also, I wanted to point out something else about that top lane trade. The phase rush on the Jace is meant for, ranged matchups. It prevents him from losing any matchup that he doesn't want to. So, obviously, you can... Oh! That.
You might be seeing something coming through as Dorjan just trying to steal some CS away from Moody. As, they're going to share. Sharing is what friends do, but Dorjan He's going to go in as Moody going to be forced to back out with the Vault Breaker, as it's a good rotation from Rat over to the mid lane.
Yeah, really good job from him. Obviously, with that first back from Moody, there's quite a bit of a CS advantage here for Dorjan. Also trying to find his way in to duel this Vi. If she doesn't hit the CC to start with, the Aftershock just makes her lose the fight. So if she doesn't...
Here comes the Vault Breaker. It's not going to find his mark. Light Binding will, though. Could this be First Blood? Kessler running really low, and First Blood will go over to Moody as Recon 5 take the advantage. And this is exactly what they need to do.
Yeah, very clean there to dodge the Q from this Vi, but obviously getting hit by the Light Binding right afterwards was his death sentence. No flash, no barrier to work with.
There comes the Equinox in the bot lane. This is what we were talking about as Boom Hunter not able to reattach to Yuki Bunny, and he gets taken so low. But no death.
The heal was burnt there. Exhaust still on this too, but certainly burning that heal isn't going to go bode well. Oh, he just Moody.
Oh, here comes Moody. He's got the Vault Breaker. He's going to go on the turret. He picks up the kill onto TVO, and Recon 5 will get their second kill of the game.
Yeah, really clean there from Moody. He was able to find that. He waited out the Q timer with the flash of TiVo. So I think TiVo guessed the Q would fall off and he wouldn't be able to use it just in time. Instead, he mistimed it and used his flash right before the Q expired. So, Moody able to just hit him under tower, easily kill him. That's 2 for the jungler. Of course, the CS advantage wasn't the advantage of Hecarim, clearly. But now that's completely gone. The Vi has the early advantage. This is what this team needs. They need one of these carries to start to get ahead, so these supports are going to make an impact in the game.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Moody behind in CS compared to Dorjan, but that's not what matters. Recon 5 just want to try to enable this, want to try to enable Yuki Bunny on this solution.
They do. Now, what I want to see is more from Dorjan here. Obviously, he tried to hit a Syndillion there. Didn't really get it. We haven't seen anything else from him quite yet. What I really want to see him start, especially now that he has this ultimate to hit some of these lanes. He can definitely attack at least a couple of them. Right now, Karma doesn't have any defense. He has a cloth armor, and that's it. He and Rat would be able to take that fight pretty easily, at least burn Tonto's flash.
Speaking of Dorjan, he's looking for something onto Syndillion. Can Syndillion at least land the Light Binding? Seismic Shove's gonna come through. There's your Dark Harvest proc, as Kessler will be able to find the kill.
Yeah, that was strange. It felt like Syndillion almost didn't expect for the continued walk-up from Kessler, so he just stopped in place under the tower, and that led to him getting hit by that Seismic Shove and dying. If it weren't, like I said, the Ignite came in from Dorjan, he was able to walk out of that situation. If he had kept walking back behind his tower, I think he would have been fine, and he would have just essentially burnt Dorjan for nothing. Instead, goes down in that situation and gives Kessler the Dark Harvest and the kill.
Yeah, that is one of potentially many Dark Harvest stacks to come in from Kessler, as this might actually turn into a bit of an ABL meme, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be great. Dark Harvest, Omega World. But certainly, the dragon control is nice here. That's nice. Having the Vi, having the pushing bot lane, both good things. Getting the Ocean Drake away for these supports.
Yeah, as the Ocean Drake has been secured. Next week's going to be a Mountain Drake, and it hasn't been those Infernal Drakes, which would have worked so well for the side of Recon 5, taking something like this solution and could have, got the Infernals to kind of counter the scaling. But the final chapter coming through, there's the ultimate from Moody, and it's going to be a quick kill onto TVO.
Yeah. Again, I'm not sure how well versed TiVo is in Soraka, but they're certainly finding a way to bully him here. He has the flash, had the heal, both got burnt last time, so they're able to take a repeat down to the bot lane, giving up only some minor pressure into the mid lane from Talia. They actually might just commit, try for this tower. Probably going to get 3 and walk out. That's probably the best they can do, but certainly plenty of gold onto these champions that definitely are going to need it. The Lucian picks up his first kill as well. Oh,
he's going to burn the culling as well, just to take Shrifty even lower, and they will not quite be able to get that third turret plating. Still got another 4.5 minutes to try to find more plates. They're just going to back off for now with a fairly comfortable lead.
That they will. And again, top lane is going about as expected. The Jace is up just a little bit in the farm game. but certainly Karma holding her own. Once she has that Iceborne, she can really start to put out some pretty decent damage, and the wave clear is pretty good from the combined auto attack and ability usage. So once that comes through, it'll be pretty nice, especially Tonzo is going to be auto attacking a lot, trying to get these Kleptomancies procs. He's staying even right now with the Jace, and that's a good thing. Also, Jace building the lethality, that kind of implies team fight Jace. Again, I would much rather see the split push Jace. It might not be as strong as that team fight, but certainly puts a lot of pressure on the side of Recon 5.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, that Kleptomancy coming in, even though Ra has almost a 20 CS advantage. Doesn't matter, here comes the Reaver's Wall, though not quite going to be able to go to the right side of Tonzo, as Tonzo will be able to escape fairly comfortably, as Rift Herald getting started by Dorjan now.
Yeah. And to me, I think that's just pure communication from Recon 5. Honestly, like, Tonzo knew that was coming way ahead of time. He was able to burn the ultimate and still get on the other side without burning any summoners. Really, really well done. Good communication there, letting them know Kessler was out of lane.
Yeah, right, going to be able to pick up one turret play. And actually, that reminds me, did you know that apparently Jace has the highest attack speed of any champion in the game? Or the highest potential attack speed of any champion in the game.
Highest potential is bad? That doesn't shock me. No.
Yeah. As the Rift Herald will get secured by Dorjan, and
actually, wait, that does shock me. Why is it not Olaf? Doesn't Olaf gain attack speed with like how much life he's like dead?
It's because I believe Jace, I can't remember how he does it, but there's an auto cancel that he can do, and he gets 3 or 4 auto attacks in a really, really short space of time.
Are you talking melee auto attacks?
It might be. I can't remember how, but I just remember he has the highest.
I think what you're talking about is there's an animation cancel that involves his hammer stance and using the W mechanic. So if you W, you get, I think it's 4 auto attacks in a row at much faster speed at lower AD values. As you level that up, the AD increases. But you can switch to hammer stance during the portion of that, and his E counts as a cancel, and so does his Q. So if used properly and chained well together, you can actually get like 3 autos off in the course of like 1 second by like auto, E cancel, and then auto, and then Q immediately for a 4th source of damage. It's really, really fast.
Well, there you go. We'll have to see whether Rat can get any of those, big autos coming through. But again, Dorjan looking at this top side. He has the Rift, and it looks like he might be looking to drop it down here, because Yuki Bunny and Boom Hunter with the advantage, but here comes the onslaught of shadows. Tonzo getting quite low, as Rat not going to quite be able to find the Q, and Tonzo going to be able to use the Inspire to safety. But Rift Herald is now going to be spawned, and this could potentially be first turret falling.
Yeah, they do have TPs almost up on Yuki Bunny. I think it might, if not be on point ready.
Moody, he's looking to collapse in the bot lane. Recon 5 won the first turret. The final spark's got to come in. It will find a bit of damage, as it's going to be 2 kills for nothing. Nice. And Recon 5 clear up the bot lane. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Dynasty looking to find something, as Dorjan getting brought down quite low. Rat gonna be able to secure the first turret in the bot lane, not yet fallen. And it's going to be 1 turret apiece, but crucially, Dynasty able to find that first turret.
Yeah, really, really important. Tonzo, I think he probably should have committed to trying to fight Dorjan. Instead, turns back, tries to push off Rat from the tower, and not going to be able to do it in time. Again, though, that's a couple of gank attempts there onto Tonzo's top lane Karma. Just nothing worked out. They can't find the angle, can't find the perfect way to do it, and so he doesn't have to burn Flash yet again. Iceborne, it just makes it so hard for them to fight him.
Oh, there comes the acceleration gate. They're going to find something damage. Tonzo finally forced to burn a flash. Rat's still going to go for this. He flashes in behind. He gets the knockback. It's not going to be enough damage. Rat's going to fall, and Tonzo with the outplay finds one. Can he find any more damage onto Dawson, as he's potentially looking to turn this? No, he's just going to settle for that 1 kill. And he has actually picked up that Iceborne Gauntlet as well, which I'm sure helped him somewhat in that fight.
Yeah, like I said, really good for the armor, prevents the damage from both the Jace and the Hecarim, most of what he's going to be seeing for this game. And again, it's just the outplay potential that Karma has. Multiple shields, the root that can heal you if you do ulted. Unfortunately, he used it on Hecarim, and Hecarim turned around immediately, perfectly played by Dorjan. Just overextension by Rat. I don't know that he was expecting Tonzo to get knocked under tower further, and then instead of running out, he knew he was sealed his fate. Dorjan just didn't commit. I appreciate that he didn't try double down, try to get that kill on Tonzo in the tower, but again, This is the strength of that Karma pick. It's impossible to deal with if you're not having that hard CC to work with.
Yeah, and of course, just so much maneuverability as well from Tonzo with that Inspire and the Focus Resolve when ult and power giving back that health. As second Drake was also secured by the side of Recon 5. They got a 5-kill lead, but only a 1k gold advantage. That's somewhat courtesy of Dynasty being able to pick up the first turret in the top lane. Next Drake's going to be another Ocean. And once again, Recon 5 will be looking to take this as they do have priority.
Yeah. The one big thing is the Lucian does have quite a bit of an advantage over Swifty. He has the BF sword alongside the Blade of the Rune King. So once he finishes Essence Reaver, that I think is the point where they can really start stomping. The point where they can really start taking fights.
Oh, Yuki Bunny, he's going in. Can they find the kill on Rat? Final chapter in, but it's going to be the culling that does the job. And we'll pick up yet another kill for Yuki Bunny, who's now 2-0 and 3.
Yeah.
Yuki Bunny going to look to get some turret damage down.
I like this rotation here, putting the Talia into the lane with Tonzo. No magic resist for Tonzo to speak of whatsoever, so no way for him to kind of mitigate the damage that'll come through from
this is a nice ultimate from Moody. Follows Kessler all the way down, but the seismic shove is going to find enough damage, and Moody's actually going to fall as so much damage comes through from the threaded body. How they turned that was insane from Dynasty.
Yeah, really impressive right there. You see more, might see more fight. Oh!
Onslaught of Shadows coming in, will get the knockback onto Sendilion, followed by the blast gun. Sendilion will fall as Kessler picks up the kill. Now Tonzo, can they finally get something onto him? No, they can't. Tonzo will be able to survive once again.
Yeah, really clean there from the side of Dorjan. As you said, a good follow from Moody, attempting to keep himself on Kessler. But again, no magic resist. They're not really respecting the damage that could come out of Talia at this point in the game. She has Ludens and she has the sword shoots. Again, this isn't the most optimal build, I think, for the game. But right now, if no one's respecting it, she's going to pump out damage like no one's business. And no supports around to keep Moody alive, so makes it difficult. And then, of course, the follow-up there from Dorjan, able to find another kill onto Sendilion. Perfectly played, so he could put him onto the blast plant. Really, really well done from the side of Dynasty. They're stalling the game well enough right now. They just need to keep it up, and I think the game will be theirs.
Yeah, and in fact, they're getting this bot lane turret fairly low, and I'm sure Rat will be able to secure that soon enough. But that being said, Yuki Bunny's still pretty big at the minute, 2-0-3, and we're going to have to wait for that Essence Reaver to be bought and just see how much damage he can do and whether Recon 5 can really start to snowball this game into their favor.
He might actually have enough gold to almost complete it. He'll definitely get boot upgrade if he can't. But he's certainly getting there. Sendilion is 2 deaths. He doesn't have tons of gold at the moment, but the Ludens does give him plenty of wave clear to work with, I think, in this particular situation. All right, yeah, not quite enough gold to finish the Essence Reaver onto Lucian yet. This team is still strong. They have plenty to work with. A lot of damage onto Sendilion at the moment, but he can transition to that supportive build, and I think that's what that Fiendish Konek is going towards, is more support items, so he can try to get Vi and Lucian and try to get them to get more damage. But the window for Recon 5's composition to continue to oppress and to really have the advantage in this game is slowly closing. So they need to find better fights quickly.
I also kind of like this itemization from Moody, picking the Ninja Tabby. In fact, 3 Ninja Tabby coming from the side of Recon 5 and the Bramble Vest as well, which should work so well against this Dynasty lineup.
I like the idea of armor. It's not a bad idea, but they're not respecting the damage out of Kessler. The other thing is, pure armor in terms of auto attacks, really coming from the Jace, kind of, and from Swifty. But as the lethality builds, this is more of a poke Jace build, so, the armor is nice, but a Bramble Vest isn't going to do as much. Especially the Bramble Vest combined with, Ninja Tabi. So Moody will never die to the Sivir, at least for a long, long time. But she'll still take tons of damage from this Hecarim, from this Jace, that have these more bursty, ability-based damages. The armor, again, it's really, really nice this early in the game, but it doesn't help against those abilities nearly as much as some others do.
Fair enough. But it looks like Recon 5 now starting to move into this mid lane. as they'll look to crack the second outer turret. But the Weaver's wall coming in. There comes the onslaught of the shadows, as that's going to be a kill coming through onto Sindelian. Final chapter coming in. It's going to be another kill onto Georgian from Moody. But Moody himself will fall. It's going to be 2 kills for 1 for the side of Dynasty eSports, and they will take the advantage.
Yeah, again, this is all about keeping all 5 members together. I don't know if we're doing replays right now, but we can always take a look at that. But again, if you don't keep all 5 of your members together at a time, you have a struggle in terms of, actually fighting. Sting has been caught out by that Hecarim ultimate twice now. He needs to keep himself in a safer position, otherwise they're going to keep losing these fights. Moody traded 1-for-1 onto Dorjan there, thankfully. But, I mean, that doesn't always happen. When the game gets a little bit different, start to get more bursts out of Talia, out of the Jace, that's just a 2-for-0, and that's a lot better for Dynasty.
And we did hype up the, how big Dorjan could be on this Hecarim, splitting up the team with that onslaught of shadows. And it came in really, really big there. Next Drake's going to be an Infernal in 3 minutes. And with Dynasty starting to turn this game around, they might actually be able to finally contest the Drake in this game.
Yeah, and again, in terms of pure scaling, their composition's easier to run. Having 3 supports supporting somebody like a Lucian on full build, it'll make him a terror, and it means they can win team fights. They also have these dragons, so if they continue the dragon control as best they have in this past, they can still rely on Elder Dragon. They won't die at all. They'll take no damage from these major objectives. It'll be taken slowly, but it'll be taken basically with no damage. They can sit around, try to bait fights as best as possible, but it is difficult. There are still ways that they need to play around the game. One adaptation I want to see them make is all 5 kills are currently on this Talia. They need to buy magic resist very, very quickly. Otherwise, she's going to keep shredding all of them.
Yeah, that Talia going to be really, really big. Already has the Luden's Echo and the Morellonomicon. Might even pick up a Rabadon's Death Cap just if Talia wants to get even bigger and Kessler wants to find even more damage. As here we go, Moody looking for something, but the Weaver's Wall gonna come through straight away from Kessler to safety, and he's gonna back off.
Absolutely. Good play right there, able to use that. Like I said, they're not really catching people in the side lane. The best they can look for is maybe Lux. Again, Lux probably shouldn't be there to try to respond to this Jace, because she will, most likely. But again, this is a rough situation. Using this Jace in the side lane is what I wanted to see. So at least they're following that kind of advice. Again, Dynasty, I think, is just playing this really, really well.
Yeah, and Rat looking, just pushing this bot wave, and we talked about Rat looking to be the split push threat. You mentioned that he's going for more of a kind of team fight build, and he does have the TP, so he can always just turn up for fights. Speaking of the TPs, Rat and Trifty have their TPs available, as do Sindelian and Yuki Bunny.
Alright, just trying to take stock of this game at the moment. It's like 1,500 gold lead on the side of Dynasty. The vast majority of that is just simply in the top lane. Like, it's Jace over the Karma, which isn't a terrible thing for them. A lot of it is also, the mid lane, Kessler over this Lux. But again, those are 2 solo laners over supports. So as long as those supports have people to help, like this Lucian, they're going to have their value. Like I said, though, without a gold advantage, without massive, this Lucian probably should have 2,000 more gold if they wanted to make this work better, because he needs to be the richest in the game. Right now, he's the richest on his team, but he's 3 people, maybe 4, 3 people, or 2 people on the opposite team that have more gold to him. So, composition like this isn't quite going to work.
Yeah, Kessler and Rat with a lot of gold at the minute, 5 and 1 on that Talia, as the Infernal Drake is going to be spawning in. Dynasty just picked up that mid lane outer turret, so they'll be looking to contest for this. But with Rat in the top lane, it's a 5v4 at the minute.
Yeah, a lot of vision control here from the side of Dynasty as well, so it's so difficult. This Rift Scare, or the Rift Herald, also taken for the side of Dynasty, so they're going to be able to see when Recon 5 starts. If they have all 5 members, they might be able to catch this TP from Jace. They're going to burn it quickly, but I don't think Jace can join fast enough to limit it.
The final spark will come through, and actually the CC is going to come in from the final chapter. Assault and Battery will bring Dorjan really, really low. The Prowling Projectile will get a little bit of CC down as Shrifty might be getting taken down, but he's able to just about escape. Forced to burn the flash though, but no kills coming through. Just a lot of summoners being burnt.
Yeah, that's kind of the strength of the team that we wanted to see throughout the entire thing. It's just they don't have anyone that can follow the Vi. She goes way too fast, goes way too far with her abilities, and her engage range is so long that nobody, like I said, Yuumi almost has to stay on like Lucian just to get him back into the front line. But if she does that, then Vi's unprotected, so she has to stay on Vi the whole time. It wasn't a terrible trade there. Losing top tower, they actually lost inhibitor tower. That was a terrible trade. It looks like 2 towers there for Dynasty in trade for an Infernal Drake. Again, like I said, I don't know what Recon 5's goal was with this composition, but I don't think they're achieving it at the moment.
Yeah, and right, split pushing in that side lane pretty big right now, getting 2 turrets as you mentioned, and has crucially cracked open the base of Recon 5. And this might prove to be pivotal as the Baron has spawned. We are 25 minutes into this game, and Yuki Baron is going to have a fair bit of damage on that, but then again, so is the likes of Thrifty and Kessler. We're going to have to hold that thought because TVO potentially getting caught out. Moody in the backline needs one more auto. Meanwhile, the onslaught of shadows coming in. Yuki Buddy with the culling, not going to be able to find enough damage onto Dorjan. Moody going to find the kill onto TVO, as that's a lot of damage coming in from Rat with a TP in. Thrifty really low. Can he survive? No, he can't. But Rat will not be able to avenge him. The triple kill coming in from Moody. Moody on the turret. Moody with the quadra. And that is massive for Recon 5.
Yeah, that's the fight they want. Again, every single time that they're the ones with the numbers advantage, anything like that, they can actually take fights like this. This Vi, strong pick, able to do that. Let me see if I can read it. Basically what happened was, again, you see the split of the team. Vi able to start to try to get the pick off. He gets enough of his time, and Hecarim tries to split off members of the team, but there isn't enough of an outnumber onto the Vi to prevent her from getting anything, and then he gets burned on the backside because Yuumi has the healing, has the ability to prevent his ADC from dying. So really, really well done from the side of Recon 5. That's how they have to play the fights. Use your number advantage. Use these even team fights. Now, you have the Vi. She's a little bit tanky, built a little bit too much armor in my opinion. If she could be this kind of assassin pick that they can just overpower with all of these supports, they have a way to do it. Again, this was kind of the end to the game. They've tied the game up. I wouldn't expect this over and over again to happen a lot more times, but even 1 or 2 more times could definitely secure them the game.
Yeah, and they were able to get 2 turrets in the mid lane, getting the final outer tower. Baron still stands, and as we are approaching that 30-minute mark, the next Drake is going to be the 3rd Ocean Drake. And potentially, if Recon 5 can get that quickly enough, we might be seeing a 6th Drake Elder coming through.
Yeah, that would be pretty wild to see a 6th Drake Elder come through, but certainly I don't know if they're going to be able to take it quite fast enough, or at least they're with the Baron on the table. I think it's going to be difficult for them to not at least trade that for the Baron. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on how that plays into it. Also, these lane assignments I think are a little bit off for Dynasty. Once again, I think
Moody taking a bit of poke damage. Kessler not going to fully commit. No.
So Kessler is like in this weird situation where he's your best bet in terms of pick potential, that kind of thing. So you want him in the
Moody coming in, but on the hunt comes through. Final spark will deal so much damage. Culling will find even more onslaught of shadows. Is not gonna do anything. Dorjan gonna get CC'd by the focus resolve. Kessler gonna be able to zone him back. Rat taking so much. Bunny goes on a rampage. 15 kills to 6 for Recon 5 as Recon 5 look towards the Baron.
Yeah. This is why you have to cluster if you're on the side of, Dynasty. If you have these ways to stop the fight, you have the silencing zone, you have the Talia rocks, you have plenty of ways to zone this Vi, or at least prevent her from continuing the fight when she ults in like that. She was way ahead of her team. The only support she had was a Karma that teleported a few seconds after. I'm not exactly sure why they weren't ready for that. That was pretty, blatant. They saw it coming from a mile away and still did nothing about it. This is how Recon 5 is winning the game. It's not necessarily that their composition's better or that they're playing it immaculately. It's just their decision-making is so on point. I don't think Dynasty's ready.
And Recon 5 making their way over Moody. Once again, gonna get hit by that seismic shove, but it's just not enough damage. That's an adaptive helm on Moody's Vi. As right now, oh, that's more damage. I did see a Dark Harvest getting procced, but Recon 5, can they get this Drake within the next 20 seconds? And the 6th. Yeah, that's going to go. Recon 5 will secure the 5th Drake. The final Drake is going to be another mountain, which is going to be pretty big for them when they are looking to siege down the base of Dynasty eSports.
That they will. Again, Dragon Control is what this team needed to have also. Again, they're the ones with the aggressive early game picks and the support, so they had plenty of ways to work around it. Having 5 Drakes is big. The more stats they have, the better. Again, I still think Dynasty's composition is the superior one. I think if they play it correctly, even in one fight, this game could completely turn back on its head. But Recon 5 somehow got grasped again. They lost it for a while. They have it back now. The game's in their thing. They have to try to use their composition the same way they've been able to. Moody is popping off on the Vi. He has this kind of tanky build, and they're just enabling him to do damage over time rather than being a burst assassin Vi. Very interesting to watch. Like I said, he's somehow throwing this massive door jam into the side. I wasn't intending that to be.
Tonto looking for the damage onto Vi. Brad's going to get the knockback, but in comes Yuki Bunny getting off the damage. Final spark will come through. Yuki Bunny will be unstoppable and find the pick. As Recon 5 doing more and more.
And the more that, the Yuki Bunny and Moody start to get fed, the less these supports actually matter in the fights. It's all about enabling them to do these things. Moody can run ahead of the team, start to try to find picks onto somebody like Tebow, like Swifty, like Kessler. These supports can follow him up, give him support with shielding, healing, that kind of thing. And Yuki Bunny gets the space to kind of dash around, do what Lucian does best with this flat cleaver build, have the mobility to start whacking away at some of these carries. It's working out for them. So they're doing it well. Finding picks like that helps all the time as well.
Now this is something we brought up in the draft phase. Even though Recon 5 might start to get disadvantaged and push in, can Swifty wave clear in time? And the answer seems to be no, he can't. The base has been cracked open. In comes a flash, the assault and battery, which will be enough to keep Dynasty alive for long enough. Dorjan getting brought quite low. Stopwatch will have to be pumped, but the inhibitor is going to get taken down, and Recon 5 will leave, having taken the first inhibitor of this game.
And that's the kind of aggression that's only wins because Moody has gotten all these kills in the last few minutes. He has multiple ways to tank up damage. You're talking the Bramble Vest, the Adaptive Helm, and then also the big shield from Sterix Gauge there. Keep him alive when he dives under like Nexus towers with the rest of his team not around. And then Yuki Bunny, or my apologies, Boom Hunter, Sandillion with the shielding, with the healing are able to pull him out before anything else happens. You saw Dynasty play that well too. They didn't lose anybody, and Dorjan was the one that kind of split off the other 4 members, split off everybody else away from this Vi. Again, 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now, 1 item from now, you might be seeing that fight go a lot differently, where Moody goes down and there's nothing stopping a re-engage from the side of Dynasty. You have to play a little bit more careful if you're the side of Recon 5, especially Moody. Can't go that far up if he knows Hecarim has the ultimate readily available.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on those items coming through. The Black Cleaver and the Rapid Fire has been picked up by Yuki Bunny. Almost full build. Just one more item to get. 2 minutes, we'll see the second Baron coming onto the Rift. And 1.5 minutes away from the 6th and final Drake, as Recon 5 look to get the 6th Drake composition. But they're just going to take their winnings for now. They've picked up that first inhibitor. They're going to leave Yuki Bunny in the top lane, who's player pushing. He picks up the final outer turret. 33 minutes in this game, and Recon 5 looking strong.
That they are. Things I want to see from here to continue this kind of oppression that they've had. I want to see Vi continue to build a little bit more bulky. I think she can go for Guardian Angel so she gets a little more damage, but certainly continue on. I think Guardian Angel is a perfect item for her at this point. Gives her a little more damage, gives her some more defense, and prevents her from dying on the front line immediately without the support help if they were to get split off. I want to see more aggressive from Yuki Bunny. The exact opposite. I want to see him build Infinity Edge. I want to see him this full aggression build, just start smashing people with this full build Lucian crits. That'll really help them. Dragon's coming up here. They're backing, getting some items, getting some more. That's what I want to see from them. Secure this final Dragon, wait it out, try to get Baron, try to get Elder Drake, that kind of thing. That's how they can win this game. Dynasty, continue taking fights like you've been taking in the last few minutes, playing exactly how you need to, Dorjan. Make sure to be that kind of rough and tumble, push away everybody from the fight, and then try to get the pick on Divide before she gets any other like defensive items to keep her alive.
And it would seem for the moment that this crazy comp of 3 supports is doing the business, as there is the roar from the Mountain Drake as it settles down into the Dragon Pit. Moody will start on the Drake, and I don't think there's any real way for Dynasty to be able to contest it. They're going to have a look at Baron. They could actually try to rush this, but I'm not sure if they have the damage to go for it.
Yeah, especially not in the next few seconds. They have plenty of vision control, though. They can look to maybe engage if they're able to find a pick off here. They're just going to walk out. Okay. They have the vision control. They have, pressure in the area. They can at least sit around it. Oh,
Moody might be looking for something. Can just
Dorjan.
use the Vault Breaker over the wall, but Dorjan being really aggressive, running right next to Moody, saying, come on, you know you want to engage on me. And Moody says, no thanks, you just keep on going on your way. The Redemption's going to be dropped at Baron. Recon 5 haven't started it yet. They can pull the pin whenever they want. But with a 50-50 on the table right now, probably the best thing for Recon 5 is just to wait a minute.
I actually disagree. I think they can start Baron pretty easily. I know that they shouldn't commit fully to it, but they take it very slowly. They can try to bait Dynasty into a poor engagement, and they don't lose much health because they have 3 supports keeping themselves alive. Here's Moody.
Oh, well, there's the assault and battery. Culling comes through, which will be enough to keep TVO alive. Swifty finds a kill onto Boom Hunter. Yuki Bunny looking to try to chase down right. He gets the kill. It's 3 kills for 1. Only Boom Hunter falling from Recon 5 as Recon 5 will take their winnings and pick up their 2nd Baron of the game.
And again, this is the problem. They actually found a decent way to start this fight. Dorjan gets a really, really good ultimate into the middle of everybody, and that kills Boom Hunter. But unfortunately, all the space purchased by the rest of this team, able to allow Yuki Bunny and Moody to walk up, throw Sindelian's damage, throw Ratanzo's damage. All of this damage just gets funneled into this small little corridor, and that allows them to win the fight with basically ease.
Final spot, TVO solo, 1 more auto. The flash comes through from Sindelian to secure it. Meanwhile, Kessler able to find the combo. It's a 1-for-1, but the triple TP into this bot lane from Recon 5 will be able to find the final inhibitor turret and sorry, not the final inhibitor turret, the 2nd inhibitor turret and the 2nd inhibitor as the base of Dynasty starting to collapse.
Yeah, and unfortunately they lost Sindelian. I think if they keep Sindelian alive through that, they're able to get this mid inhibitor as well. But instead, gonna have to wait, kind of stall out. This is a 6 Dragon team with Baron at the moment, with 3 supports on it. They have Ardent Sensor. They've got, the multiple Athenes and Holy Grails, multiple Redemptions to work with, and this Lucian is just about on full build. The Vi's very near full build. This is getting to be a very scary composition to try to fight into. Dynasty's been doing a pretty good job trying to fight into it, but they need to keep Sivir further back if they want to start winning these fights.
Yeah, Yuki Bunny 6-0 and 6 right now is now full build, having picked up that Infinity Edge. Meanwhile, though, Kessler not too shabby himself,
Actually, he just finished his.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Swifty having picked up his Infinity Edge as well. Practically, well, very close to being full build. Has the last Whisper.
Yeah.
Still has 1 more item, so he might decide to go for maybe a GA or something like that.
Yeah. Something defensive probably wouldn't be the worst idea either. Like I said, I wouldn't shock me to see Guardian Angel. I think Bloodthirster could work for Swifty as well. He has enough damage that goes through the entire team that a Bloodthirster could keep him alive for a not insignificant amount of time. Yeah, I think that's the best bet for him. I still want to see Guardian Angel in this buy. I think it's the best item she can buy. She has 1,400 gold at the moment, so I know she probably doesn't want to commit to the BF instead of getting control wards. But should she get to the back point, Moody certainly, I think Guardian Angel is exactly where he wants to go.
Now, we are 38 minutes into the game. 1 minute until the Elder Drake spawns. Surely, Dynasty need to pull the pin before we get... Speaking of the pin being pulled, Yuki Bunny absolutely slaying Dorjan. Culling comes through. Assault and battery onto Swifty as... Final chapter comes in, that's the big ultimate. Kessler will get taken down. Rat gets deleted by Yuki Bunny. Kessler will finally fall the double kill onto Yuki Bunny as Recon 5 find the ace. They find the kills onto Dynasty. They make the comp work. They take Nexus turret 1. They take Nexus turret 2. 3 supports. Recon 5 make it work, and they take game 1.
Yeah. To me, I think this was just Dynasty getting impatient. They had the ability to win this game. It was in their short time. They just weren't prepared to play as patiently as they needed to, wait long enough to try to get this advantage with all 6 members. They weren't able to do it. I don't know if it was communication. I don't know if it was them just not understanding how to play against the 3 support composition. They got too antsy, started to let Recon 5 come back, and then, once one domino tipped, the rest of the reaction happened. It was just Recon 5 constantly winning fights. You saw it, epitomized at the end there. Dorjan ran as fast as he could try to catch a Yumi Bunny, and he wasn't able to hit him with the ultimate. And then he dies. Rest of the team fight's lost right there. Nobody there to protect. Nobody there to peel for Swifty. That's just what happened in the game.
Just getting perhaps a little bit too impatient at the end, but one thing's for certain though, Yuki Bunny absolutely popping off. 809 Moody as well, 11 tank vibe build. Absolutely insane stuff from Recon 5. We're going to have to see whether they can look to do the same in game 2 and take the 2-0 clean sweep. We'll be back after a short break with game 2. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this best of 3 between Recon 5 and Dynasty eSports. And it seems that we are already into the draft with Rebel. We're seeing that Zaya ban coming through, as well as the Yumi and Kiana.
Yep. Not surprising to see some of these champions taken away. Jarvan's still available if either team does want to look towards that. I think Nico was banned here also last time, so we'll see if that one slips through. Obviously, they don't... Oh, go ahead.
Can I also suggest that Needly?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Mordekaiser's also a good ban. Yeah, there's a lot of good bans. It's difficult to ban out everything. Obviously, they don't want to see Yumi, because Yumi was just terrifying last game. Certainly... Lux a great pick for Recon 5. Oh wow, they're zooming through this draft.
Yeah, Nika was banned out in game 1, gonna get picked up, and it looks like we might be seeing Sindillion on that Lux once again. But the Sivir also getting picked up. Karma's still open, as well as Moody's Needly.
Yeah, they have ways to go about this drafting thing. Again, I'd like to see Needly, but I don't know if he wants to bust it out every single game. If he plays it again, the people might start banning it like just consistently. Karma was a really good last game. I like that on Tanzo. They couldn't find any aggression against him whatsoever. I think it's just a stall mechanic to keep Rat from kind of popping off in the game. But now that they know it's coming, they might have something prepared for it. So I really want to see Dynasty enable Rat something that can aggress against the Karma, or at least give their junglers, give Dorjan something that he can help Rat out.
Can Nico be flexed to the top lane as an answer to the Karma, potentially?
Nico is flexible to the top lane. I usually expect it to be in the mid lane. I'd like to see it support because it actually bodies Lux support. That's just me, though. I know I'm a dreamer.
I quite like the Ezreal as well, because that can pair up quite well with either the Lux or the Karma. So maybe we might not even see the Karma in the top lane.
They have a super heavy poke composition. Like, if they picked a Nidalee alongside these two, this would be crazy as a poke composition.
And potentially even more poke in the top lane. Maybe it could be the Lux support, Karma top, and a Zoe mid lane. But the J4 will get picked up, and you mentioned that before. It wasn't banned away. That gets picked. Morgana being banned away from Dynasty, and I don't know. That kind of seems somewhat surprising to me, anyway. Especially if you're going for a poke. A poke setup.
I think that kind of hints at Morgana. Like, Morgana counters Lux really well in the bot lane, and it's really good with Sivir because that's double spell shield you don't deal with. So I think that kind of hints that maybe they want Lux in the bot instead of at the top, or at least they want the flexibility capable of taking that Lux into the bot lane if they want. So I'm at top. I think Lux can still move around, but Karma is kind of definitely the top laner now. There's no way that you can flex it to support at this bans.
Of course, we're still waiting to see whether that Nico will be in the mid lane or going into the top lane. Potentially, maybe even a Nico on hit could come through.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff from Dynasty. Again, they're playing a more traditional 5v5, and they have a lot of AoE and engage with the Jarvan, the Nico, and the Sivir. So I want to see them keep it up. Probably draft a support here if you're not planning to put Nico down there, and then find out whether you can put Nico mid lane or throw it in the top lane for Rat. I think that's the best case. So support for Sivir at this point, not sure.
Recon
Nami,
5 with the bro. Yeah, Nami gonna get picked up. So I know a lot of shields, something that can keep Sivir going for quite a long time. A lot of heals coming in through there, and I guess that's
I'm shocked not to see the Soraka because it's really good into poke comps to try to prevent any sort of like escape on engage. So something with Jarvan would be really good. So like I said, they picked it last game. I know it didn't work out with TiVo, but certainly I figure Freesman would be able to play it better.
Yeah, maybe they just kind of feel something didn't work. Let's not do it again. But Silas, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the jungler, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know. He's a jungler now.
Silas locked into the jungles. Shackled into the jungles, dare I say. There we go.
So Riot has done this. I think they've done this thing where all mid laners now get nerfed until they're junglers. That's just what happened.
As Aatrox, something you hyped up going into game 1, it will get picked into game 2. So the only question is it going to be the Karma in the mid lane or the Karma as a support? And I guess we're going to have to wait to see what Dynasty's final pick is.
Like I said, I think it's possible they can flex Aatrox, Karma, and Lux into 3 different positions. I guess not Aatrox support, but that's the only thing you're taking away up from the board. I like the draft from Recon 5. It's very flexible.
Ooh, Kennen. This seems like massive team fight from Dynasty.
Yeah.
You've got the likes of the Slicing Maelstrom. You've got the Nico ultimate, Jarvan, the Cataclysm coming through, and you all combine that with the tidal wave from the Nami, and it's just a big wombo combo.
That it is. It's a lot of engage, a lot of movement speed, really good ways for Dynasty to kind of find fights, especially into this more poke composition. Aatrox and Sylas are great frontliners, so it's really good for Recon 5 to have those. I think they're banking once again on finding early game aggression, pre-15 minute, trying to get an advantage out of that. Again, Sylas should be the jungler. If I had to say, I would want the Aatrox mid lane against Deco, and then I'd want probably Karma into the Kennen. I think you can respond. Kennen has a tough time trading into Karma because of the constant shielding, and she can match his Kleptomancy rune so that he doesn't get a massive gold advantage. I think it's just best of both worlds there.
Yeah, and as we enter the client picks and bans, we'll be able to get confirmation of whether it is going to be the Karma or the Aatrox in the top lane. As you said, the Karma in the top lane just to deny that Kennen Kleptomancy stack should be something big. But another thing that I'm quite hyped about is that we are getting this J4, and that's going to be a lot of gank potential coming through from Dynasty eSports.
Yeah, that is it. I think it's a little bit better at ganking than last game when he had the Hecarim. The Hecarim had to find really good creative gank routes. In this game, it's a lot harder CC, a lot easier to gank, especially once he hits 6. I think it's pretty good. Also, in terms of team fighting, it's a lot more direct. A Hecarim has to find a good flank, has to get good ultimates that spread out the team fight. Jarvan doing the exact opposite. He wants to keep everyone clustered so that this Kennen, so that this Nico, so the Sivir can put out massive AoE damage. I like this a lot better from Dynasty.
Yeah, and Tonzo has locked in the Karma, so it will be Karma into the Kennen in the top lane. And another thing I want to bring up is we saw in game 1 a lot of TPs coming through from Recon 5. With that Ezreal in the bot lane, an ADC that can run TPs, we could potentially be seeing 3, dare I say a 4th TP coming in from Recon 5.
If I want your opinion,
That we could. I don't expect it as heavily this game because we don't have, at least not 4 purely. I expect only really the 2, unless Boom Hunter wants to run like Unsealed Spellbook onto the Lux port. That's the only thing I could think, but certainly I don't expect 4 teleports. 3 is more than manageable though. With the Ezreal likes to hit the item spikes, especially now that he has a little bit of a nerfed build path. Certainly coming back with the AP style build, but Aatrox is going to be a lot of the AD damage in this one, so I want to see what the Ezreal wants to opt for.
Yeah, and I mean, Boom Hunter could potentially go for the Unsealed Spellbook, but I guess we're probably just going to be seeing the Aftershock coming through just so strong on the Lux right now. As we have our confirmation, it's going to be Tesla in the mid lane, Rat in the top lane, and we kind of talked about the Ezreal Lux strong lane presence, both of them high poke, but how is it going to fare going into this Sivir Nami composition?
Sivir Nami's super good. Like it's an amazing composition. You have tons of wave clear, tons of poke, good sustain, and the movement speed between these two is nuts. Like you can get very fast very quickly. The other big thing is they do very well with a Jarvan because obviously Sivir has to aim skill shots and she has AoE. So if they're trapped in the Cataclysm, there's nowhere you can go. Coupled with like a Nami wave and a Nami bubble, they won't be moving for a long time. Ezreal Lux are really good at poking. That's not great into the Sivir lane, and they don't have any like wave pressure because they're going to be pushed in for most of the game. It prompts Sylas to want to come to the bot side of the map to try to bail them out a little bit, and maybe with Aatrox they can make it work. But in the pure 2v2 of like Ezreal Lux versus Sivir Nami has a massive.
And just going to give a few shout out to some people who have followed us today. Lol R Pike, Tova TT, Rose BT Waha. This is Matt. We're going to ignore that. We're ignoring that. Patient and Swixer. But I think I did that perfectly. Not one single mistake.
No one blames you. It's like 3 in the morning there. That's what I meant. I didn't mean anything else by it. It was exclusively that it's 3 in the morning. If anyone took it as anything else, then you are you're entitled to your own opinion. That's what I'll.
But going back to this matchup, you got Dorjan on the J4, as I've been saying, height, can do so much in that early game with the flag and drag, so much gank potential. Moody on the Silas. We've seen Moody pop off in game 1. We've seen Moody pop off in previous games as well. Where do you see them both being? Where do you see them focusing their efforts in game 2?
If I were Moody and I weren't severely dehydrated, my mouth would be watering for this game because Silas can steal any of these ultimates and just devastate. You're talking, you have Nico ultimate, Kennen ultimate, Jarvan ultimate, Sivir ultimate's like the lowest priority, and that's a super good utility ultimate. And then Nami ultimate. Has anyone seen? I don't know if anyone's seen it. Try to find it. There is a GIF of when Silas had really high AP ratios on the ult mechanic, like a pentakill with a single Nami wave. It was hilarious to watch. Yeah, it was like he threw it like a Baron pit, and they were kind of like all below like 100% health. The single wave from like a full AP Silas killed an entire team. It was immaculate. It was amazing. So like I said, if you're Moody, you want these ultimates as much as possible. At level 11, he's going to start stomping these skirmishes.
Yeah. That reminds me of one of my friends. He literally got a quadra kill by ulting a Shyvana onto a dragon, and it was disgusting. And I'm actually quite appalled because I got so excited by the Silas, but I forgot that he could steal ultimates.
You forgot that he can.
I was thinking about
whole mechanic.
I know. I was thinking about his Q. Oh, that's good AOE. Oh, the E gets some CC down, and I forgot that he can steal ultimates.
Yeah.
Am I a bad person?
My lawyer says I'm not allowed to answer that question. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. But we're going to be heading into a short break as we get ready for game number 2. So we'll be right back with the start of game 2 as Recon 5 look to take a clean sweep against Dynasty eSports. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second and potentially final match between Recon 5 and Dynasty eSports. Don't forget, if you haven't done already, do subscribe to us on Twitch. All the proceeds go towards making the stream and production even better so we can bring you more high-quality gameplay. You also get some very, very juicy points for viewing, following, and subscribing. And you can double up those points with some very juicy bets. I'm sure you've seen in the Twitch chat people spending all of their points on this game because it is a very, very tight. It's going to be a very, very tight series. Both teams currently tied for second place in the standings. And Rebel, you're hyped over this, Nami.
I'm hyped over the Nami. You're right. I am hyped over Nami. Nami's one of my favorite champions in the game, and like I said, she's so unique as an enchanter because she's like, she has CC, her like damaging ability is also her healing ability, and like the amount of movement speed that you can use with the E and with the ultimate, all of her passive, like her passive in general, just makes her so strong. I feel like a Nami, like a really good Nami, can almost carry a game exclusively on her own just by fixing all of her like, you know, everybody else's positioning, giving him those speed ups, that kind of thing. It feels like what an enchanter should feel like. You can carry your team by giving them the power that they need to do things. Nami's like super unique in that regard to me.
It reminds me of Nami Dravens. It's just so broken, so much damage coming through. But both junglers going to be starting on their red buffs. And just if you weren't aware already, Sindelian playing the Aatrox in the mid lane into Kessler's Nico.
Yeah. I do like Kessler taking this Glacial Augment.
Oh, Light Binding gonna land onto Friesman. That's a lot of poke already coming through onto the Dynasty support.
Yeah. That is the fear of running the Nami into this Lux. The CC that's brought just immediately by the Lux trying to hit the binding is difficult to deal with. Oh, what was all that about? Okay. Looked like Tanzo just kind of froze up a little bit there. I have to scold Tanzo. He didn't take Kleptomancy to match the gold generation of this cannon. Said he took Comet to try to poke him out of laning phase. It's not a terrible way to go, but he needs ganks from Moody if he wants to make this work. He needs to try to get an advantage over the cannon. I think going Klepto is just a safer way to go.
Yeah. Tanzo did pick Kleptomancy in game 1 into Rat's Chase, but he's decided against it for game 2. And as predicted, Boom Hunter is picking up that aftershock as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good for the Lux to have that kind of safety in the laning phase. So surprisingly, I would have liked to see Electrocute on Sindelian. I know that the Conqueror gives him quite a bit more sustain, gives him a lot more like presence in terms of like an elongated fight. But when you're playing against something squishy like Nico, especially in the mid lane, you want to be able to pressure her early. If you find a chain, if you find an abduct here from the Silas, it can be very, very good if you have that Electrocute, just get the burst damage out, prevent her from getting away from that situation.
Friesman taking so much damage in the bot lane, getting poked down so much. At the moment, Moody is in the top lane, just stealing some Krugs, but he's got a big window to gank this bot lane from Dynasty eSports.
That he does. Actually, looking mid lane here is Dorjan. We're going to see if this actually gets something.
Jordan, he's going to come in the Tangle Barbs. We're able to land. Can Sindelian find any way out? He's already burned the flash.
Nice.
He's going to get a bit of healing. He's going to dash out and survive with 10 HP. As close as you like, but no kills just yet.
Yeah. Really, really gorgeous from Sindelian. And I don't know if anybody actually saw what happened there. I don't know if we can play on it. But he hit 3 abilities in a row. Barely snuck in Conqueror. Oh, we see it.
Oh, but it looks like we're going to be getting the engaged. Moody taking damage. He uses the abscond, but it's not going to be enough as Dorjan is going to pick up first blood. Tonzo tries to find a little bit of damage onto Rat, but it's not going to be enough. And a good first blood coming through from Dynasty eSports.
Yeah, that's the benefit of having somebody like the Cannon, able to push in the lane against Karma early. Just able to find a good roam there. Good job by Dorjan hunting down Moody. Both flashes burned, not a terrible thing, but well done.
And Sindelian, as you mentioned, did burn that flash, was able to escape. As now he's looking for something. He's gonna be able to get the Infernal Chains off. The 2 autos from the minions will be enough, and Sindelian will find the solo kill onto Kessler.
Yeah, really, really well done. Again, this is what the Aatrox is meant for. You can really, really aggress onto somebody squishy like this Nico. Makes his job a lot easier. Found it very, very well there. Again, I can't praise it enough. Even through the Glacial Augment slow, he was able to find Qs onto Kessler. So, showing what he can do on the Aatrox bit.
Yeah, good stuff coming through from Sindelian. He doesn't need the Lux. He can do it on the Aatrox just as well. 1-0 now. As gonna see Moody, he's on his Raptors. The Ocean Drake has spawned, but Swifty and Friesman doing a good job at the minute. They have the lane priority, which kind of makes sense with the Sivir going into the Ezreal.
Yeah. So shockingly, there's actually a massive gold advantage here. Tons of farm and advantage for the Sivir. Even with the Kleptomancy, he's able to keep the gold pretty even. In fact, he's actually up in gold despite being down 11 CS on the Sivir at the moment. But if that continues, that gets really, really bad. If the Sivir can get on 2 items before the Ezreal, or at least close to when the Ezreal does, the Sivir's going to be a lot more valuable in the game.
And we'll have to watch out for that as this game progresses. Both top laners have now hit level 6, so we'll have to see if Rat wants to go for a full commit with that Slicing Maelstrom, as I guess they're just going to zone Moody away with the Blooming Burst.
They've been looking So good rotation here from Recon 5. Because Moody was able to spot out Kessler, they were able to know that because there's no vision in the bottom side of the map, they have no vision on where Dorjan is. They pull their bot lane up to help respond with Moody in case they try to look for an engagement there. Prevents them from being aggressed on by Dorjan immediately. He's still sitting in this brush waiting for something because of push that could come through. They must smell something coming through because, he finally backs off, finally goes for the dragon.
Yeah, he will move over to the Drake. Dynasty do have the priority. They can roam up. They need to help Dorjan out. As Barat has back, he's picked up that build water cutlass. We're going to see the catalyst of Aeons coming through from Tonzo. But Drake is going to get secured by Dorjan. First Drake of the game. And the second Drake will be up in 5 minutes. It's going to be an Infernal as well, so that's going to be something that will be hotly contested.
That it will. Both of these teams really need that Infernal Drake. Basically, every member of both teams has some AD, AP in that build. So getting an Infernal is beneficial to everybody across the board. Really important to get those kinds of things. I'm interested to see. So Dorjan actually, so he has Electrocute, which I noticed sometimes you do that anyway, but he has just a long sword to start with. So he's probably going Warrior Jarvan, which is pretty standard at the moment. I'm curious how much AD he wants to build. Because if there's no AD, if there's only AD on the Jarvan, then he's not going to have, there's no front line really for the side of Dynasty.
We'll have to watch out for how Dorjan looks to build his Electrocute Jarvan. As, right, just putting down some nice deep vision wards into the Recon 5 jungle. And he might look for something on Tonzo as he's just going to get back to farming. But again, it's been a fairly sensible and slow game coming in, almost 9 minutes in, and only 2 kills, 1 from each team.
Yeah, really important. Again, slowing down the pace of the game isn't bad for either side. They both have their scaling, both have their ways to win. I still think Recon 5's is a little harder to manage.
Oh,
good bubble.
Yuki Bunny gonna get hit by the bubble. In comes a tidal wave. Yuki Bunny forced to flash. Boom Hunter getting brought down quite low. Two-shot barrage will get a bit of a trade back onto Swifty. But once again, 0 kills. But, crucially, both flashes burn from the Recon 5 bot lane.
That it did. Pretty interesting. Silas is down here to try to, get something back. Swifty is actually pretty low, so if they're able to find an engagement onto him, it will go positively. I think they're just trying to bait him in with Boom Hunter and Yuki Bunny here. Try to get room for the Silas to work.
Yeah, Moody hasn't been able to steal an ultimate just yet, and if Boom Hunter can land, he can't. The final spark won't be able to find its mark. Moody will steal the tidal wave, and Dorjan is here. He could potentially look for something. Boom Hunter is backing, but Dynasty just don't quite have the wave to fully commit for a dive just yet. And with only Moody here, they might go for something. Tidal wave will come through just to clear that wave as quickly as possible. But Dorjan going in with a flag and drag, and Moody will back off as a couple of turret plates will go the way of Dynasty eSports.
Yeah, really clean read there by Dorjan. He was able to find where he needed to be right about the time he needed to be there. Moody would have looked for an engagement. He had the Nami wave, but fortunately Dorjan was in the area, so they couldn't take... essentially, Moody would have been in a 3-on-1 at that point. Yuki Bunny, Boom Hunter wouldn't have been able to contribute as much as they wanted to. So, good decision for them to back off, but great decision there from Dorjan to be able to find the counter gank and prevent any aggression, get some more tower plates in the pocket of Sivir.
Yeah. And we said we were excited to see how Moody would do. He's got a lot of big ultimates that he can steal with the hijack. And he's had the taste of that tidal wave. And obviously that's going to be on cooldown now, so he's going to have to decide to go for something else. But I'm pretty sure that Slicing Maelstrom is going to be right up there on his list as he's looking at this top lane. Going to step onto a control ward and just get rid of that for now.
Now, I want to point out something else. The gold discrepancy in the bot lane doesn't look like much. It's only about 200, 250 gold. But right now, Sivir's sitting at like 30 CS over this Ezreal right now. Like, if it weren't for that Kleptomancy, he'd be ridiculously behind for this portion of the game. Sivir's almost on a full Essence Reaver, and, a tier is out and a few components here for the Ezreal, but certainly nowhere near a completed item quite yet.
Good stuff coming through from Swifty then. with, as you mentioned, a 30 CS advantage. And he's pretty big. And eventually he'll really start to do some damage as he can get with those items. As it looks like Tonzo looking to get a trade onto Rat. We'll take him down to about half HP. And we'll back off as Rift Herald is going to get started by Recon 5, and Moody will be able to secure it. As Sindelian just zoning Dorjan away. Oh, Angle Bob's not quite able to find his mark. Sindelian going to go forward, going to use the Infernal Chains. Not going to be able to find the CC though. And everyone will back off as in the bot lane. Friesman finding the kill onto Boom Hunter. And one kill going over onto Dynasty eSports.
Really good bubbles here from Friesman, and again, also having these, boots of mobility just allow him to kind of move forward without punishment as long as he doesn't get caught in a Q combo from the Lux. Just able to do what he wants. That gives pressure for the Infernal Drake here. Moody and Sindelian are here to try to contest, but I don't know if they're going to be able to. There's 4 members here from Dynasty.
Dynasty will go on. Dorjan looking. He'll get the Cataclysm onto Moody. Moody with the hijack. Not going to come through soon enough. Sindelian, can he find anything with the Infernal Chains? No, he can't. And it's going to be 2 kills for nothing for Dynasty as they'll make their way back over to the Infernal Drake. And they will take that. No problem. 4 kills to 1 and a 3k, almost a 3k goal lead to Dynasty eSports.
Really, unfortunately, there are no really good Tonzo to get in. We'll see a replay of this fight really quickly. So as you see, really good. It's a decent start for Moody. He gets chunked out really quickly, almost turns this, almost able to get quite a bit of damage down. And then Sindelian gets caught up here. He gets good damage, almost finds a kill and a reset there, but not able to get it off before the fight loses. And again, Tonzo had no ward to go onto in a good place, so he just ends up getting caught on the bottom side of the fight, way outside of where he wants to be.
We're also seeing the first items coming in from the top laners, Rat being able to pick up the Hextech Gunblade. A bit of an interesting choice there on the cannon, whereas Tonzo going for that Abyssal Mask. Yeah.
Pretty standard, actually, from Kennen to see these days. It gives him quite a bit of auto-attack damage. It gives him the adaptive ability to have AD to start the laning phase. It's really good on Kennen to have that AD to start with the Doran's Blade and then into Bilgewater. And then once you have enough money for the rest of the AP, it'll swap into a more team-fighty build. So now he's a lot stronger in terms of team fighting. It's just his laning is a lot better with that AD instead. Surprising, honestly, to see a very defensive build here from the Karma to start with. Abyssal Mask is good, but Rod of Ages just got buffed, so it was ridiculously item effective at what cost it had. I would have loved to see that instead.
Oh, in the top lane, we're getting the engaged. Slicing Abyssal Mask comes through. Dorjan in with a flag and drag. Tonzo being forced to flash. Can he escape, though, as the Rift Herald is going to get popped in the bot lane. Tonzo's still running for his life. As Swifty getting really, really low. Sindelian looking for something, not going to be able to find anything. Meanwhile, Tonzo's still running. He's going to be able to find the blast gun. Might have to go for the execute. TP coming in the bot lane. Turret might get taken in time. Aqua Prism will come through, but not before the turret falls. The hijacked Pop Blossom will come in. Kessler will find one kill. The flash in from Swifty. Final Spark will find some damage. Moody picks up the kill. Make it 2 kills for Recon 5 as Tonzo finds the execute in the mid lane.
Yeah, well done there. Good turn from Recon 5 so far. Oh no.
Oh, Sindelian gonna back off. He's not gonna go for the full dive onto Friesman, as everything will settle down now. 5 kills to 3 overall as we're 15 minutes into this game. Dynasty eSports currently with the advantage.
Yeah, still really good job from Recon 5. They took basically 0 tempo that they had in the game. They turned it into quite a bit. They find the bot lane tower, a couple to both Moody and then also Sindelian. Gets them a little bit better position in the game. Using the Rift Herald, that was a great way to swing it. Yeah, I want to see more of that from this team. Black Cleaver Rush here from the Aatrox. I'm not sure that's super efficient. Not sure that's exactly what he wanted to do in this situation, but that's what he decided on. We saw him get the reset and the movement speed in the last fight, but certainly I think Yumu's would have been better into a team this squishy.
Yeah, and that Rift Herald wasn't able to get the first turret of the game as well over on to Recon 5. As Tonzo takes a little bit of damage. Rat could look to go for this. He's used the Hextech Gunblade, and he'll just back off after getting that nice chunk of poke down onto Tonzo.
Yeah. It is difficult. Once again, Tanzo's actually in a decent hole. He's only 1 farm down. He doesn't have the assists currently, but that's not tons of gold. But most of his gold advantage, about 700 of it, almost all of it's Kleptomant. Like, that's mostly Kleptomancy on some Moody. Now Dorjan's going to come in for a dive, maybe.
Yeah, and Dorjan looking for the dive together. The flag and drag goes in with a Cataclysm. Slicing Maelstrom comes in. Dorjan will be able to survive. Final Spark. Just a little bit out of range, not going to be able to find the damage. True Shot Barrage also missing its mark as the turret will be secured from Dynasty. eSports 1 turret apiece now, and 6 kills to 3 in favor of a Dynasty.
Yeah, I look to catch. No, I'm not going to be able to do so. There's a vision there. Fortunately, also, the mid lane tower would have been the response from the side of Recon 5, but Kessler was able to kill the wave fast enough to prevent any sort of engage, and then also their top side, so their rotation is a lot faster mid lane than it would be to something like bot lane, so I think they should have committed down there to try to get that tower. But certainly, great play there, good setup there from Dynasty, able to find more aggression onto this Karma, kind of put her into even more of a hole than she's in already.
The third Drake of the game going to be spawning soon. It is going to be a second Ocean Drake, and I'm sure Dynasty eSports will be looking to grab their second Ocean Drake. Will, I'm guessing, be quite nice for the side for Swifty and Friesman.
Yeah. Certainly their composition isn't really designed to be a siege comp. There are a lot of all-in with all these, kind of AoE CC ultimates and the hard engage of something like a Kennen combined with his Jarvan, but taking it away from Recon 5 is big because they can't break fights and then just come back full health, so...
Well, the Drake is going to be started. We might be seeing a bit of a smite fight. Moody looking to get something. True Shot Barrage will get a bit of damage onto Friesman. The Pop Blossom will come through. They're going to be able to secure the Drake. Kessler is going to be able to find the kill onto Yuki Biani, but for himself, Cataclysm coming through. This is a clean fight from Dynasty. They're just looking to find Sindili. Can Sindili find anything onto Rat? Infernal Chase will come in. Not going to be enough as a triple kill going over onto Swifty, and an ace for 1 for Dynasty as they're looking to get the second outer turret in this mid lane.
That's just easy. Yeah, I don't know why it is that they're clustering around this dragon. Why are you taking this fight if you're Recon 5? You have a siege comp, you're just trying to get poked down. Huge flank from Kessler, able to find multiple people in this Pop Blossom, plenty of damage. Only negative is that the reset comes on Aatrox, but it doesn't matter. Sivir runs right up the river, takes down everyone with a consistent damage. Jarvan has enough CC to prevent everyone from leaving. Best thing he can do, try to turn, get a kill. Bubble goes on to Sindilian. Easiest play there for Dynasty.
Dynasty with the advantage. 11 kills to 4 now. A 7k gold advantage. They were able to pick up 2 turrets in the mid lane, courtesy of that fight. And with Baron spawning in just under half a minute, there's going to be a lot to play for on the map.
That it is. Again, a lot of the tempo in this game right now is owned by Dynasty because they have not only the gold advantage, but they also have a lot of the engage. You saw Kessler do it, Dorjan do it, Rat can do it when he has the opportunity. So it's Recon 5 playing a game that I don't think they want to play right now in how do you counter-engage against something like this, Jarvan, like this. I think a big part of it is, again, Moody, Sindilian need to find ways to get some CC down on the front line. Maybe try to burst out Dorjan, burst out Kessler before this damage can come out. Otherwise, they're just going to keep getting engaged on and keep losing fights. The one positive I do cap is right now their river wards, the wards, especially around this Baron area, are immaculate. They have plenty of information on when they're walking into the river, trying to find some flank. So as long as they keep that clear, Rat's going to have a harder time trying to find a flank. He's not just running in around a corner.
Yeah, and, we talked about how all the members of Recon 5 were clustered up there, and it just made it so easy for Rat Kessler finding a great Pot Blossom, and of course the Cataclysm from Dorjan. But Moody has the hijack. If he can get his hands onto Rat slicing Maelstrom, he could himself turn fights as well.
Yeah, I actually, to be 100% honest, the best ultimate that Moody can take right now is Friesman's. Taking this Nami ultimate in the wave. What it does is, number one, the engage that comes in, they get immediately CC'd and some damage goes on to them, because it's pretty good damage from the side of Moody because he has a lot of AP to work with. But the other big thing is it stalls the Sivir, it stalls this Nami, it stalls Kessler, Rat, whoever's trying to go around. He can catch anybody in the wave, then he's able to prevent continuous engage in after whoever came in first. So if Kessler jumps in and he throws the ultimate behind Kessler, they kill Kessler before the rest of the team gets there. That's that's how they can win fights. So I think it is the Nami ultimate that honestly decides these fights for Moody, and I think he needs to realize that and start using it as effectively as possible.
Swifty just got hit by a full combo from Boom Hunter, and courtesy of the shields from Friesman, he took a whopping 0 damage.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Honestly, he probably gained some health back if he was missing it in the first.
For God's
place. At this point, this isn't the Lux that you want to see. This Lux has very, very little AP. She's sitting on the Fiendish Codex and the Eye of Frost right now, which is only a grand total of 55 AP. She has cooldown reduction. She's also maxing the W, so certainly her abilities aren't doing her any favors. Again, it's all about getting some utility, trying to help out her team, give her some more health, that kind of thing. So as long as she's doing that in fights, the Lux will still maintain some positive play. But yeah, as you saw, the damage isn't really there, at least not for now.
Dynasty had to turn their attentions to Baron, but they have decided to back off. Not going to risk a potential 50-50, and they're just going to look to push this top wave just a little bit. All 3 outer turrets have fallen for the side of Recon 5. And what did Dynasty need to do to be able to force this Baron, essentially?
Yeah. Again, I like what they're doing right now. Rat's in a perfect place to be able to split push this right into the tower. Fiends and Abyssal Mask are not what a Karma wants if she wants to keep him off the tower. She's not going to prevent the wave clear, and she can still probably fight and win in a pure duel because she has no AP to work with. She really only defense stats. There's not even like the Iceborne that you saw last game that can slow and do some damage on its own. I think, right now, Karma's not in the perfect place to fight against the Kennen in the split push. So you just got to keep pressuring with that. Look at that ward line, too. Gorgeous ward line there from the side of Dynasty before they get back. Looking to Dragon now, not a bad option for them because, if they don't clear out some of this vision on the side of Recon 5, they're never going to be able to. They're just going to lose Baron off the vision control.
And that is a Mountain Drake as well, so that's going to help them out big time as, Swifty might be getting caught out here. Can he get to the blast cone? Yes, he can, but Moody going to chase him down. Uses the Protobell, but is not going to be able to get close enough to be able to use a second, King Slayer. And Swifty will be able to escape, but that Mountain Drake has been taken, and that's just going to help Dynasty out so much in trying to rush this Baron when they do eventually decide to go for it. Next Drake is going to be an Infernal as well.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, because he had the Sivir ultimate, and I don't know a case in which he'd be using the Sivir ultimate to do anything but disengage. And so I think it's actually worthwhile to try to shut down Swifty here. He has a 500 gold bounty for your Silas jungle that has just a little bit of AP, so I think it would have been worthwhile to
right, going for the engage under turret on Tonzo. They're going to decide against it, but he did burn that slicing Maelstrom. So, not a full commit from Rat, but it's going to be enough to force Tonzo to back, and he might just look to push this turret in and get a second inner turret for Dynasty.
Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, Karma just doesn't have tons of room to buy AP, no Ludens, nothing like that to help her wave clear out. So this is Rat just taking advantage of it. The Sword Shoes and the Gunblade make it so hard for her to get any poke damage, any sort of consistent engage onto him. And he's just going to keep split pushing. That's all they need him to do. This is a huge advantage for their top laner at the moment. My apologies. The reason you drafted the Karma was to try to shut down this lane. They were able to find the aggression with the Kennen. He has no kills. The Kleptomancy is just giving him so much pressure, so much extra gold. Tonzo can't really contest right now.
Yeah, and these picks that work so well for Recon 5 in Game 1. Tonzo are able to keep Rat out of the game for so long. But in this game, Rat's not the one that you need to be worrying about, as Georgia currently 306 on that Jarvan, Swifty 413 on the Sivir, as Recon 5 looking to get a little bit of damage onto this mid-tier 1 turret. Not really going to be able to find much though. As that's a lot of damage coming in. True Shot Barrage won't be able to find its mark onto Dorjan, but the turret may fall. Actually, no, Final Spark will come in to get a little bit of damage. Sendilian can't quite find the Infernal Chains onto Swifty. There's a wave clear coming in from Dynasty eSports.
Yeah. It was actually super funny. What I thought I saw right there was that Jarvan actually got hooked by the Silas. But because he had already started the EQ process, when Silas arrived at him from like the abduct, it canceled it because he was EQing and knocked him up as he went away. That's a terrible interaction if you're Moody right there.
The Baron is going to be started. Moody coming in. But this is going to be Sendilian into the backline. Sendilian gets blown apart. Moody gets taken down as well. Double kill going over onto Swifty as Dorja might be looking to find the engage. Flag and drag coming in. He doesn't have Cataclysm available. Sidesteps the True Shot Barrage. Swifty flashing in. Can he find the damage? Spell Shield will be able to deny one Mystic shot as the Slicing Maelstrom comes in, but he gets hit by the Light Binding straight away. That's going to be no damage coming through from Rat. But, right, taking a bit of poke damage from these Mystic shots, gonna be able to back off as the Baron is getting taken by Dynasty. Final Spark will come in, it's gonna land onto Dorjan. Dorjan will be able to survive though. This might be possible for Recon 5 to actually survive. That's the shutdown coming through. Pop Blossom, the flash comes in. Will be flashed and dodged from Boom Hunter. Look at the shield on Boom Hunter. It is absolutely massive right now. True Shot Barrage from Yuki Bunny will find a lot of damage onto Kessler. This extended fight going on so long, but it's long enough. Swifty Solo, one more Mystic shot. Not going to be able to find his mark. Sendilian is back. Sendilian wants revenge. Mystic shot is going to be sidestep. Great sidestep from Swifty as the spell shield will be able to stop one of the Darkened Blades. But look at this. Recon 5 won their chance at Baron now. What a change in events.
Yeah. I don't know. The Nami does keep them at least healthy enough to maybe try to contest back. I just don't know if they have the abilities quite yet. No Rat, no TP. Kessler doesn't have the Pop Blossom right now, so the only thing they're really working with is the Wave and the Cataclysm from the Jarvan. They need to find a way to use it very, very quickly. Yeah, really good wave right there.
And it's once again another tidal wave to disengage from Baron. The Baron is going to gain all itself back. Infernal Drake is back up in 10 seconds. And 2 disengages at Baron from 2 tidal waves coming in. First from Moody, then from Friesman, and this game's really spicing up.
Yeah. Okay. Say what you will about anything else that happened during that situation. Yuki Bunny is a hero. He hit 90% of those, Mystic shots. Didn't get caught the entire time. If he's able to find more damage, if he gets like the Ludens, the Gunblade, he went for Blade of the Rune King for whatever reason, but if he gets more damage on this Ezreal, this becomes terrifying for them to deal with. Again, I don't want to see Blade of the Rune King. I want to see Ludens. I want to see like Duskblade. This man needs burst damage so he can take this team. You think it's a joke?
Did I hear Duskblade?
He was a Duskblade onto Sivir, and she dies before a heal can come out from Nami.
Oh yes, because of course the Q counts as an auto attack, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It procs off the Duskblade, yes.
The thing. It's like, that's the issue I run into, is like, Yuki Bunny built defensively. He has Blade of the Rune King, Iceborne. Why? If you're getting engaged on and you're taking damage from things like the Jarvan, you're going to lose that fight most of the time anyway. Like 9 times out of 10, you're losing that fight anyway. Build the Triforce. Build aggressively. Take it to them. Sometimes you have to do it. You saw that right there. If he has Trinity Force, he might win.
As we exit a pause just to go straight back into a pause. Entertaining stuff, but the Infernal Drake is getting taken by Dynasty at the minute. That's going to be a second Infernal Drake, and we saw the last very, very long extended skirmish. Very, very close. With a second Infernal Drake, this could really turn the tides in favor of Dynasty.
That it can. But again, Recon 5 were able to find the fights that they're looking for. Again, elongated fights go their way. They have the Silas who can sustain over a long fight, Karma who's like impossible to take down over a long fight, even things like Sindelian. If he gets a single reset and he has this death stance, he becomes impossible to take down over a long fight. He got burst out because he had to interrupt the Baron, but if it weren't for that, and then you saw what Yuki Bunny could do on this Ezreal over extended time. So like, if they can keep finding fights like that where that engage, they need to be the ones being proactive, finding ways to prevent engages from happening. If Dorjan is flash EQing and ulting into this team, they're losing. But if, they have to use those abilities, if they use 2-3 abilities just to try to get Sindelian off their backline, you're gonna take that all day if you're Recon 5. Doesn't matter if Sindelian goes down. If you burn 2 ultimates, 3 ultimates there just for Sindelian, you won that fight.
Yeah, and we're going to have to watch how these teams look to fight in the upcoming minutes as we approach minute 30. And 13 kill 5 in favor of Dynasty eSports. And they've got almost a 10k goal lead. They're able to pick up their 4th Drake of the game. Not quite the 6 elemental Drakes that that Recon 5 were able to pick up in game 1, and this Baron still sitting on the Rift.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult for either team to find a very, very clean Baron. Certainly it's taken faster by Dynasty, and they're the ones that want to bait it. But as you saw in that last one, if you're able to burn anything from the side of Recon 5, or if you're able to just stall it long enough, then they're just get poked out. You're talking the Lux does some damage, but really it's Ezreal, it's Karma throwing plenty of damage in, and the sustained fight afterwards is too good. What's worse is you can't commit one person. If you turn with Dorjan or if you turn with the Rat and you try to fight this team, Sindillian's there to frontline, Moody's there to frontline, you can't actually do that because they'll die and then your team fight goes away. They actually find a really good opening here.
Here we go. 3rd attempt on the Baron in this game. Dynasty have it down to 1000 HP. They will secure the Drake. True shot barrage. Too little, too late. And let's see what Dynasty eSports can do with this Baron buff.
You want to know what it was that Yuki Bunny was doing when they were doing Baron? He was clearing waves. You know what item would have helped him with that? Luden's Echo.
I'm guessing not Blade of the Ruin King.
Not Blade of the Ruin King. Like I said, you got to build aggressively in games like this if you're somebody like Yuki Bunny. You can afford it. You have Kleptomancy. You can take waves. You can't just kind of roll over and play defensively the entire time. Sometimes you just need to be more aggressive.
Well, let's see how aggressive they're going to be, because Dynasty are crashing on their base. They're going to crack the base open with that first inhibitor. It took them 31 minutes. Let's see what they can do now, as Swifty going to be forced to use on the hunt to disengage after taking a lot of poke damage. And while all this is happening, Rat in the top lane pushing, he's going to get hit by the Infernal Chains. Burns the Slicey Maelstrom for protection, as that top lane turret is going to fall with one more cannon shot, and it will fall. Both inhibitors in the top and mid lane are open, and Dynasty Esports doing a good job protecting this kind of minion that's getting a lot of damage onto the inhibitor.
Yeah. Funny to talk about, actually. I was about to joke about Rat using his zoning slicing Maelstrom, but that's actually what he was doing. He was saving his minion so he could break that last tower, so actually pretty decent play. Moody pops the ultimate.
Oh, on the hunt coming through. Moody gets absolutely blown apart. Cataclysm comes in. Dorjan's on a rampage. They finally kill. Tonzo's going to be able to survive a double flash to secure the kill. Swifty is able to get the inhibitor in the mid lane, and now they're crashing in on the base. It's a 2v5. I don't know if Recon 5 are going to be able to hold this. Surely not. Pop Blossom will come in, as Yuki Bunny will survive, but he's not going to be able to do anything. Sendillion fall, and it's going to be Dynasty Esports who take us to game 3.
Yeah, after game 1, Dynasty showed that they had the ability to win the game when they're in these weird kind of matchups. The same as a triple support, but certainly their composition worked as it should. They had a lot of engage, they had a lot of team fight, and they played to it. And when they had the advantage this time, they didn't lose it. They did a very, very good job of cleaning up their gameplay, making sure they press their advantage as best as possible. Now they're pushing Recon 5 to game 5. This is why they're tied for second in the league right now. These two are competitive with one another, and Recon 5 needs to respect that.
Yeah. And we saw in game 1 Moody's fire being absolutely massive, helping his team so much. This time it was Dorjan on the J4, 4-0 and 11. And don't count out Swifty, 6-1 and 6. As Dynasty doing what they need to do to take us to game 3. Don't forget, this is a battle for second place. Both these teams tied perfectly even in the standings. And we'll be back in just a short bit for game number 3 and the final match between Recon 5 and Dynasty Esports. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this titanic clash between Recon 5 and Dynasty eSports. The series is currently tied at 1 game apiece, and as we head into the final game, Rebel, what can we expect to see?
So what we've been seeing from these drafts for the most part is that Recon 5 is kind of playing for the lane or playing for, very unique styles of gameplay. They don't always have the clearest win condition though. Right now on the side of Dynasty, they're just sticking to this, 5-person team fight style where you have just, decent champions for 5v5ing across the board, and it's working for them. Game 1 very nearly won them the game. They kind of fell apart, but certainly had better ways to win. Game 2 very, very clearly worked for them. There are a couple of fights that kind of went awry, but if you're the side of Recon 5, I think there's more to work with in terms of draft information, but Dynasty has the composition that's working better. So the question is, can Recon 5 make that adaptation, or does Dynasty just take it based on that?
We've also been seeing the Karma, the Lux being so big. I wonder whether those are going to get banned out, as we're going to see the Kiana banned for the 3rd time, and there's the Lux and the Jarvan bans, giving that respect over to Syndillion. Although he did play the Aatrox in game 2, Dynasty eSports don't want to run the risk of him having that Lux again, though.
Yeah, that they do. Kha'Zix's been banned in most games too. This is looking eerily like game 1 bans, except that we've swapped Nico for Lux. That's about it. So now Nico might be available, but that could be Dynasty's first pick. It was certainly pretty good for them. Made a decent impact in a couple of fights. See what Recon 5. Yeah, I like the Sivir ban. That's really big. It's been great through basically the entire series.
The
so
Yumi's open though, and the Yumi's going to get picked up. So I wonder whether Recon 5 are going to take away the Ezreal, because Yumi Ezreal's a fairly strong lane.
That it is. But Ezreal isn't super high priority at the moment. So to me, I just think, what is higher priority on the tier list for ADCs? Lucian isn't bad, but of course Sivir's off the board. The main reason you take it is kind of fight Lucian. Another Karma lock-in. So the Karma pick's been up and down through the series. Obviously, it wasn't super great in game 1, but it did its job. Game 2, it certainly struggled a lot more. I think that had a lot to do with the build path as well.
Yeah, and that Karma will get taken up. Can get flexed around all over the map. And we'll have to see how Recon 5 want to play around this. Still, a lot of picks available. That Sejuani in the jungle also available right now, as we're going to see the Varus coming in. That could be a pretty interesting pick for Yuki Bunny.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting because it fits well into a poke comp, and also you can kind of flex it if you really want. It's actually pretty good in a Nico mid lane, surprisingly. You have a lot of ways to just kind of poke her out, and then if she tries to engage on you with that Pot Blossom, he's throwing your own ultimate out in response. It's surprisingly effective if you build lethality. Certainly, I don't expect it here. I expect that to be pure bot lane, but just kind of interesting to see it this highly prioritized. Yeah. Oh, we got a tip.
Oh, as we're gonna get the Lucian in, and something that you are hyping up, Rebel. The Lucian Yumi, that's coming through.
Yumi, that's pretty standard. Oh, what? Oh, all right. Recon 5 stepping up.
We got a $4 tip from someone who shall not be named, but the message is very, very pivotal to all of us. I heard Bard. Play Bard.
Oh. No one said Bard.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. A 420 tip though.
I could go off on a tangent about Bard. I'm a Bard one trick, but
oh no. This reminds me of a game I saw recently where a Bard ADC got played.
Oh,
we're gonna see the Poppy now. Okay, this is something that I have seen. I like Poppy because
countered
Poppy.
This was the game we saw last week. This was the same series.
Yes.
Recon 5 busted out Poppy support into Yumi, and it's super good. I'm surprised
Yes.
we haven't seen it yet. They baited Dynasty into taking it. I'm so happy they did it again because this was so effective last time. It also helps against the Lucian because Lucian also gets his dash canceled. They have no way out of that situation. Poppy destroys this lane. Varus is a good complement. It's not great into Lucian to start the game, but it's certainly very effective as an ADC and something you can definitely carry on.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Tom Kench, the Vi, the Sejuani, and the Hecarim bands coming
They don't
through. Oh, yes!
They don't even know.
It's almost like Recon 5 are saying, here we go. We are now playing serious. Bring it on, Dynasty eSports. What can you do?
They don't even know. They banned the Tom Kenchway, I guess thinking maybe that it was going towards the top side of the map, but they don't realize it's still Karma top. You just gave up Nidalee over to, like, Moody. You've given away Poppy support, and now you still have Tanzo's Karma top. Aatrox is still available for Sindelian, too. He's been great on that pick. This is a very good Recon 5 comp if they finish it out that way.
As it looks like the Olaf has been picked up for Dynasty, and that will be going on to Dorjan as we're getting the Zoe. Oh, I don't want to say it. I feel like I'm getting baited by the players here. It's something I've been.
Zoe would be a takeaway from Sindelian because he's very good at it, and if you fit into like kind of this poke composition they have, I don't mind it. It's actually not a bad takeaway. I just don't know if he's comfortable enough on it to be confident. Yeah,
Okay, no.
that's terrifying. I want to see it now from this comp because again, Nidalee, Varus, and then also that Zoe. This is comfort and this is power from Recon 5. This is so much of their style of play. I'd like to see Aatrox too. Those are the two big champions I want to see in this. I think, like I said, I think this is a heads just completely 360 here for Recon 5, and I love it.
We'll have to see how that all works. Something else I want to mention as we are going to see the Aatrox Sindelian pulling that out once again, but Moody on that Nidalee. That is big, and something I want to bring up because something I've just noticed. If Orianna puts the ball on top of Yuumi and then Yuumi then dashes and attaches to Olaf, who might be in the middle of a team fight, that could be a pretty big shockwave coming through.
That it could. It's really good. You'd also have the follow-up of like Nico and the Lucian capabilities of like kind of following up on that. The one thing though is that Nico has hard CC, Yuumi has hard CC, Orianna has some CC, like hard CC, but none of it is accessible immediately. Like Nico's, you know, I forget what the E is called at the moment, but that's really the only ability you have that has instantaneous CC. This is a long-range team. Like, other than Aatrox, like, you're probably, or Poppy, I guess, but you're really not hitting many of these people with that hard CC. So you're counting on this, you know, the Yuumi and the Olaf, the Orianna ultimate, to connect on the back line if you're the side of Dynasty. This is a lot more of a messy team fight, a lot harder to execute than we've seen from them in the last two games.
The other thing I want to bring up is, how is the Karma and Aatrox going to be flexed around? Is it going to be Karma top or Karma mid?
That's Karma top, Aatrox mid. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
Do not doubt me. Do not doubt me. I'm a genius of the highest order. Okay, I did it. I did it last game. I predicted every pick where it went last game. Trust me on this one. It's Karma top, Aatrox.
I don't know. Is anyone else out there just hoping it's going to be a Karma mid? Prophet Rebel states that it's going to be the Karma in the top lane, and Tonzo certainly has had practice with this Karma, having picked it twice already in the series. But I guess here is a moment of truth as Rat will lock in the Nico in the top lane.
Yeah.
It only just dawned on me that we're getting the Nico in the top lane. There it is, Tonzo on the Karma. It's a Nico into Karma.
I forget what genius was it that predicted the Karma top lane.
Prophet.
Sorry, was it who was it?
Prophet.
Let me hold on.
No,
hold on.
not
Let me
genius,
hold on one
Prophet.
second before the cast continues. I need to hear it. One second.
Wait,
Which one? Who was it? What
the
prophet was it?
Prophet.
What genius?
it was
What 10,000
the
IQ
prophet.
mastermind said it?
The Prophet Rebel Fox. I shall hereby introduce you in all future casts. I am your play-by-play caster, Milky Cereal. Joining me is the Prophet Rebel Fox.
I guess the single Aatrox pick in the series. That's all I have to my name. And the $4 donation from you guys didn't even tell me his name because apparently you're not supposed to say it, but
it's I something for Bard. Let's just say
you something for okay.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that's fine. I think I can fill in any word there, and it probably fits pretty well. So, all right, back to the game. Again, the Karma top lane for Tanzo. I think it's so like Nico plays very similarly to how Kennen does in the top lane, especially with the auto attack focused gameplay if she does go. And that was really good into Tanzo last time. I think he needs to learn his lesson, go Kleptomancy, and try to match the gold generation. Otherwise, again, he could struggle in this laning phase. But Moody on the Nidalee, coupled with Syndilion's Aatrox, is a lot more aggressive and kind of a much more comfortable for this composition that we see in order to get them around the map and try to do things all over the place. I like this a lot. Orianna doesn't have great early game, especially not with Olaf. You're going to leave Olaf out to dry pretty heavily. I like it. I like this from Recon 5. I think they're doing it a smart way. I think it's a lot cleaner of a composition than we've seen.
Now, I'm a little bit out of the loop with Nico, but is on-hit Nico still a thing, and is that something we could be seeing from Rat?
Not really a thing. You can play it, but it's not considered like meta. Like doing it is something that's like out of meta. It'd be like playing I'm trying to think of a good comparison, I guess. It'd be like playing. I don't have a good comparison for it at the moment. Like I said, it's just not. It's like Urgot. That's the best I can compare it to. You see an Urgot top lane, it's not like obtusely like, oh god, like that's an 8. Like where did that come from? But like you don't see it because it's just not as strong as a lot of things. So Nico on hit isn't dead, but it's certainly not where it was. Glacial augments a lot better because it's a lot better team fight potential. Gives you a lot better poke in the laning phase.
I'll have to see that come through then. And of course, with Kessler on the Orianna, some big potential team fights could come in. But we've still got that Nidalee from Moody, which is massive. And don't forget, the Poppy counterpick could be absolutely huge. Recon 5 popped off on it last week. I wonder whether they can do the same again today.
Yeah, I think the differences are they don't really have an ADC that fits the super aggressive early game. So like if they had Lucian or something of that kind of caliber, it'd be a lot easier to run. But certainly it still does what it's kind of supposed to. In fact, it's gotten to the point where Lucian took cleanse so he doesn't get put into a wall and just die in the first couple levels. Also, you can cleanse the chain away from the Varus. It's actually not a bad choice of summoner. Pretty nice. Got kind of a good adaptation there for Swifty. I like that a lot.
Also seeing the barrier coming in from Kessler. Just
we saw that
bit upset.
One too. It saved his life, so I can respect that.
Yeah, and against Moody's Nidalee, it's a lot of burst damage that could be coming through, so I guess that does make a lot of sense. And, you know, again, I always like taking this best of 3 series somehow, always to Dorjan and Moody, the junglers. So pivotal, so important in games 1 and 2. How can we see them, you know, controlling the map in the game 3?
Yeah. Hey, Lokadosi, subscribed. Thanks, Lokadosi. I love you more than my entire family now. Anybody that does a higher subscription, though, I'll love you more than Lokadosi, so. Sorry. Anyway, as we see the 2 junglers interacting, as I said, Olaf's really good in a pure 1v1 against Nidalee, and he can match the clearing power because obviously that couple the tom, or I don't even want the axe he throws. I don't know if it's a tomahawk or a hatchet. I don't know what it is. I'm dumb, but
it's an axe.
His ability to clear the jungle matches Nidalee's ability to, and he duels really well in the early game. But the 2v2 that he has with the Orianna against the Aatrox Nidalee is terrifying. Couple that with late game when Olaf has to ultimate to get into this team. He's not going to get hung up on the CC from Poppy or from Aatrox, but the damage that can come out from a Nidalee and a Varus thrown into him when he loses those defensive stats is going to be terrifying if he doesn't have more stacked on. This has to be a tank Olaf. You can't build AD. Not even a Black Cleaver, I don't think, in this game. He just has to be pure tank, and he has to try to run through that damage if he wants to get any engagement. Because him getting into the back line, it allows Yuumi, it allows Orianna to get off some of the CC, and gives path for Nico to find that big pop blossom. So he needs to stay alive, and he needs to not get behind in this game. Otherwise, it could be a struggle to pull off the team fight comp that Dynasty's been running.
Dorjan potentially going to be absolutely massive on that Olaf. The Ragnarok could come in huge, especially with Friesman on top of him. However, Recon 5, they pulled out the Poppy before as a counter pick into Yumi. Moody on the Needly and Tonzo for the 3rd game in a row on the Karma. We are all set up for an absolutely fantastic end to this best of 3 series. We'll be right back for the start of the match after a short break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this final match between Recon 5 and Dynasty eSports. We have a cracking game on for you. We've got Dorjan on the Olaf, but possibly more importantly, Moody on his fantastic Needly pick and Boom Hunter with this Poppy counter pick. It'd be enough to make me bet some of my points on Recon 5, but betting has closed. Recon 5 have had more bets in their favor. But don't forget, you can still get your points by viewing, following, tipping, or subscribing. Don't forget, at the end of the season, the person with the most points will be getting a $10 PayPal voucher, or $10 on PayPal. And I don't know why I don't know. But anyway, they will get $10. But we are into the game, and already we're seeing that ward being dropped, just to give a little bit of information at the Raptor camp.
Yeah, interesting to see. So Moody is setting up for this kind of like solo Raptor clear. You can do it with the trap setup, and then coupled with your your Cougar stance, you can use the W. You have a late invade here from Recon 5 as well. They just want warding in the opposite side, so they get the mirrored vision that was provided. I believe it was by. I forget. I think it was Dorjan was the other one who threw it down. Yeah.
Oh, Swifty might be able to find something. They've got the Prowling projectile going, but they're going to back off. They'll get a cheeky little auto off. Too bad they're not running Kleptomancy.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the engage. That's a really early engage from Boom Hunter. He's got the aftershock. It'll give him a little bit of extra defense, but it's not going to be enough as there's a lot of poke coming through from Friesman and Swifty so far.
But he was able to get that shield, but he got harassed for it. Took 2 autos of damage just to get the shield off. Again, Boom Hunter getting harassed out a little bit, but the aftershock needs to protect him. their rush to level 2 is very important here. Because if they get level 2 first, they can maybe look for it, but they're not going to. Yeah, they're going to get level 2 way after this bot lane, so they just have to pull away here.
As everything will settle down, both junglers. Well, Moody starting on his top side, Dorjan is starting on the bottom side, both on the red side. As actually Dorjan started on his top side.
Yeah, he did. He wanted the blue buff so that he could clear this very, very fast. So again, Olaf, the lower he is and the more he can spam this Q, the faster he can clear the jungle. That's why you're seeing he was able to clear the top side of the jungle insanely fast. Nidalee clears incredibly fast herself, especially with this trap start, but it's nothing compared to a low health Olaf.
Oh, Yuki Bunny taking a fair bit of damage, and despite Boom Hunter getting off, the heroic charge is not going to be enough to take Swifty into turret range. And everything will settle down once again.
Oh. Yeah, and again, this is the frustration you have.
The heroic charge into the wall. Swifty still somehow finding damage. Yuki Bunny solo has to be careful. One double shot might be enough to take him very, very low. As Dorjan gonna start on this Scuttle Crab. So Dillian gonna try to zone him away. The Infernal Chain's coming through. But Friesman has turned up. Swifty's here as well. What can they do? They force a flash in from Dorjan. Swifty taking a lot of damage, tries to get the turn. There's not going to be enough damage coming through, as Moody doing a good job rotating over and getting that zone as he almost finds the javelin toss.
Yeah. Very good job there. Again, this whole situation gets set up because Yuki Bunny on this Varus, he can't contest the damage of Varus this early. He just gets out auto-attacked, out-bursted with the abilities available to the Lucian. So he continues to get pushed in, continues to take damage and poke from this Yuumi. That pushed them up in the laning phase, and of course Aatrox was able to find a good roam, try to aggress onto Dorjan. He missed a Q that was maybe, a few pixels, a few little bit off. He hits that. That's definitely first blood over to the side of Recon 5. But certainly a good fight from all. I don't think, just a one flash burn. I don't even know if it was in the same situation.
Dorjan wasn't able to get the Rift Scuttle on the bot side. Can he go for this one, though? Yes, he can. He will win the Smite fight. Be careful, though. He's looking for this 1v1 onto Moody. Rat is here. Dorjan will re-pick up his axe. He's not going to be able to find the damage. Rat flashing forward, but Moody flashes forward in response very, very quickly. Good reaction from him. Dorjan might be getting caught out here. Sendilian has turned up. Sendilian will find the first blood, and Recon 5 off to a flying start.
Might get the crash. Yeah, I don't think that's enough to kill Yuki Bunny. But again, this is what I'm talking about. Dorjan tries to find a 1v1 against this Nidalee. He's able to get at least enough of one to take away this Raptor camp, and then Rat is able to follow him down, gets a push into Tanzo, and he's able to help out his jungler. Really, really good job. It just stays a little too long, tries to aggress overly for that Raptor camp. And Sindelian finds a nice little gap, comes over, helps him out. This is the advantage you can generate with the Nidalee, with the Aatrox, as a team. Like, even if Rat were to stick around, they would have lost the 2v2 with the Nidalee and the Aatrox together this early. So keep these two together, keep Sindelian around enough, able to control the mid lane against Orianna. Really like this combo.
First Drake once again going to be this Ocean Drake, and at the minute Swifty and Friesman doing a really good job keeping that bot wave shoved in. So they should have priority for this if they decide to go for it, which I'm sure they will, as we're getting the shockwave in the mid lane. But Kessler, he's got no mana to follow up on it.
I can appreciate the hype that was in your voice, but like I said, I saw that he had no mana, and I was like, that's just a zoning ultimate. I guess it was enough to give him a clean back timing here. Sindelian has to stay to pick up the rest of this wave, which is kind of a shame, but he should be fine. The Qs aren't going to help him out. Not going to do him any favors here, but he might be able to at least get it on his side. Yeah, he's going to be able to put this wave on his side. No, you need to leave. Yeah, Moody has to help come up and reset his waveform. I think he could have just sat it where it was at, because it was closer to his side. Wasn't going to push in. He just had the advantage. He would have been fine where he was. Instead, just going to push it right into the waiting arm of Kessler.
Well, potentially a good shockwave then from Kessler, getting that back off. However, something we need to bring up in the top lane. Rebel, you claimed yourself, well, I kind of claimed your profit, but my on-hit prediction...
I don't think we need to talk about this. I really don't.
I feel like we haven't mentioned it, and it's our duty. It's our duty as casters to bring this to the public.
There is no kleptomancy on the Karma top lane. That is just a travesty, and that's all we should talk about in the top lane. Good job. There's fighting going on bot lane now.
No, there is no fighting going on in the bot
There's
lane.
about to be. You better pay attention.
Oh, the javelin toss will land on Swifty. Moody straight in. That's a good cleanse coming in. But the heroic charge from Boom Hunter. In comes the Prowling Projectile. One axe lands. The Freezeman will find the kill. Shame we can't go on to Swifty, but a kill nonetheless from Dynasty. And they even up the score. 1 kill apiece.
Yeah, well, it's worse than an Olaf chain slow, throwing a Yuumi into it to continue it as also a slow from the poke from her. That's just, like I said, that's so aggravating to do.
Now Kessler might be getting a little bit low, but Shockwave once again will come in just to zone Syndillion away as this Ocean Drake will be started by a Recon 5 and Swifty looking for something. He'll flash over the wall. The double shot gets Moody so low.
How much health did he have after that? That was so... Yeah, he was under 20 health there. Fantastic blast plant to get him out. But, oh my... That was about as close as you can get.
Such a shame. Swifty almost finding the pick. But it's still going to stay at 1 kill apiece.
Yeah. I also want to point out the back timing, like the really unfortunate back timing here from Yuki Bunny versus that from Swifty. So Swifty comes back with an extra longsword of Vampiric Scepter and also a Fairy Charm for more mana regen, so we can cast more in the laning phase. All Yuki Bunny got was a Cull. That's the only... Well, I think he actually came back with a refillable pot as well, but certainly not even close to the combat stats that you get from anything else.
We haven't really seen Boom Hunter, you know, this bot lane from Recon 5, they've been beaten so hard that Boom Hunter just doesn't seem to have the ability to really go in on Freezeman and use the shield to be able to stop Freezeman from getting back onto Swifty.
Like I said, I think the big difference is that, like, when you're playing the Poppy and you're using it as an aggression into this Yuumi, it works well, but then you're creating this kind of situation where you need your ADC to put out damage at least in the 1v1 against the other ADC, if not in the 2v2. And Varus just can't do that this early in the game. He's capable of doing it a little bit later when he has some more items, has some attack speed under his belt. But again, on a Cull and a Doran Shield and a refillable pot, he's not going to put out the damage that a Lucian can do in any capacity whatsoever. Oh!
Oh!
No.
Tonzo not quite able to get the blue bow. Good reactions from Dorjan coming through there. And speaking of Tonzo, he's in the top lane and... I feel like you've been dodging something, Revel.
We'll talk about it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
For some reason, Rat decided that he wanted to go the on-hit build. I don't know why. I assume it's because he wants the Wit's End counter into the Karma. So the best way to activate that...
Oh my god, Kessler taking the javelin toss.
You didn't see that.
That was... Remember how low Moody got? Well, that just happened to Kessler from a javelin toss.
Feels pretty bad.
I feel bad because I cut you off in the most important part of this game. As Tonzo, he's going to go in on Rat. Can he get the focus resolve to come through? Not quite. Rat going to be able to use the shape splitter just to be able to get that movement speed and escape.
He's regened up quite a bit.
Oh, Kessler gonna have to be careful. The Darkin Blade coming in. Infernal Chains will come through. Shockwave's too late, and Moody will pick up the kill for Recon 5, who take their second kill of the game.
That's kind of a shame, unfortunately. Like I said, I think Kessler was just expecting Syndillion to back and try to get a good timing off, so he thought he could be greedy, come up and finish the rest of the wave, get some sort of gold advantage. Instead, just get caught out there. Well done by Syndillion and Moody to avoid vision so that he has no clue that was going to happen.
Okay, we might be seeing the dive coming in from Moody and Syndillion. However, they're going to spot out Dorjan. Final chapter coming in. Swifty with a culling. He gets taken down by Yuki Bunny. Meanwhile, you're going to see Syndillion finding the pick onto Dorjan, but Moody got taken down as well. Overall, this is a 2-for-1 for Recon 5 to flash in from Syndillion. He's able to find one under turret as The Tangle Bobs will find the CC onto Zendilian. No further damage to come through. And overall is going to be 3 kills for 1 in favor of your rate of Recon 5.
I want to see a replay as best I can if possible. Like I said, it was a really good roam here from Zendilian. Great flash in, tries to get aggressive. Unfortunately, Moody got caught out on the backside, so this is where Zendilian gets his kill at. Finds one onto the Olaf and Dorjan here. This is really, really good from him. So he stays on the edge of tower rank, even though he has the Zooing. But catching him with the Q, he just knew the super squishy Yuumi goes down. Just a little fraction of damage left, and then he gets out from under tower free. Fantastic start here from Zendilian on the Aatrox.
Yeah, 5 kills to 2 in favor of Recon 5. 4 of those kills on Zendilian. Well, 4 of the kill participation on Zendilian. 3 of the kills on Zendilian, though. And he's pretty big, even though he's got a 20 CS deficit to Kessler.
That he does. He's... Again, to me, this Aatrox pick is just so pivotal to have on Zendilian. He's so good at running it in just about every situation. Cleans up a lot of their compositional errors, a lot of like AD that they can run out of the bot lane or in the mid lane. Helps patch it up. Like, not a lot of people can run this Aatrox anymore, but Zendilian's capability to do so at such a high level is what makes Recon 5 such a terrifying team.
As we're going to see Moody starting on this Rift Herald. And once again, actually, Tonzo going for this Abyssal Mask as his first item.
Goodness. I don't even want to talk about the Abyssal Mask. What are you doing, Kessler? He went for a super scaling build here. He did Catalyst of Eons, Tear of the Goddess, wanting the Rod of Ages. Right now, Rod of Ages makes tons of sense on basically every mid laner that uses mana. It's super cost efficient. We see George. I think they're probably just going to try to stay in the bot lane.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get the final turret plating as we hit the 14-minute mark. As seeing a 1k gold in favor of Recon 5 right now, but Zendilian with the Infernal Chain is not going to be able to get it through fully as Dynasty eSports get the first turret in this bot lane. And once again, Lucian getting a decent advantage, but as you mentioned, Rift Herald getting spawned in the top lane, and it could be a 1-for-1 turret trade.
Zendilian's actually roaming down up to the top side of the map to try to catch Rat, and he's leaving mid lane open, and there's 4 members collapsing there. I think they might be able to get there before anything happens. Yeah, it's going to be a quick rush here from Zendilian to try to catch them on this tower. I don't know, they might be able to get it? Oh, they have so much damage. Oh my god, that's fast. They get that very easily.
Just power off the mountain Drake. But Moody looking to try to find a pick with the javelin toss will get sidestepped. But Mountain Drake coming in pretty big. 2 turrets for 1 in favor of Dynasty eSports. And now he's just going to clear this wave. Has to be careful. He takes a fair bit of damage, but he'll be able to escape fairly comfortably.
Yeah, really good rotation there from the side of Dynasty. They just pick up a tower off of pure macro play because they moved the bot lane up, got it mid lane. This is a play that we saw from the side of Recon 5 last game. It just worked this time. That's what it's supposed to look like when they do it. Boom. You see siege up on mid tower here. They should be able to get it. There's not much here. There's not tons of AP on the castle.
They have the shockwave, but the final chapter is going to come in. We'll get the CC, and the turret shots will take down Boom Hunter. That was a great shockwave from Kessler.
Yeah, I actually wasn't expecting that much. I don't think they were either. Recon 5 probably wasn't expecting the amount of damage onto the minions. I know they're pretty weak, but certainly, like, with no AP except an amplifying tome on Kessler, I would have expected it to basically one-shot that wave, but it did. Just kind of poor rotation there from Hunter. Like I said, he just got caught completely off guard.
Boom Hunter getting caught out under turret. Potentially just underestimating the damage of that shockwave, and all of a sudden realizing that there are no more minions to tank. As Swifty taking a bit of damage from Tonzo. Will be able to back out though. Still got this final turret remaining for Recon 5 in the top lane.
Okay, so I'll bring back up this topic of conversation. This is what he wanted. I give him props for it because he did make much of it, but it's not a very common thing. So the on-hit Nico is something that was super meta in the top lane. It was really, really good for a long time. It fell out of favor because because of changes to Nico, because of ways that it's worked. The reason why he opted for it in this matchup specifically, again, is that Wit's End is such a better item, especially if you rush it. You get life steal, you get a good amount of damage, you get magic resist, all from the fact of just autoing somebody. So the press the attack on the Wit's End just makes her such a lethal laning opponent. Like I said, there's no gold generation, which is why right now Nico doesn't have a massive advantage. I would have preferred to see it, again, last game on the Kennen, a very similar champion to how the Nico operates. He was up pretty significantly just from that. That's why I think it's more efficient, but I can see why he wanted the Wit's End for laning.
Oh, as Moody's going to be able to land a javelin toss, Ragnarok comes through there, will be able to generate enough of a gap to stop Moody going in. However, there comes the heroic charge. Swifty forced to dash over the wall. Uses the culling, not going to be able to find the damage though. And once again, no kills coming through. And we're still 5 kills to 3 as we're going to see a shockwave coming in. That's the flash ultimate from Yuki Bunny. Yuki Bunny finds their kill and a great pickup from Recon 5.
Absolutely.
And now they're looking to make their way onto this mid lane outer turret. Final chapter's not going to be able to do anything. And Recon 5 will pick up the turret and make their way over, potentially to Drake, where we're going to be seeing a second Ocean Drake of the game spawning in 20 seconds.
Yeah, really good job by Recon 5 finding that pick, finding it onto Kessler. Yuki Bunny has to flash ultimate in order to lock him down, but getting that was a lot of the wave clear, a lot of the AoE. We saw what happened last time they sieged the mid tower, so when he was gone, all they needed to do was run it down mid lane and get that tower pretty easily. Now they're going to get a dragon probably off the back of it as well, at least pressure in that dragon pit area. Ooh.
Oh, Get Swifty might be getting caught out here. He's able to dash out of the infernal chains, and Boom Hunter Moody not able to turn onto him quickly enough. As the Drake will get started, and it is going to get secured by Recon 5. And there's one Ocean Drake apiece. No.
Yeah. Pretty good. Again, Recon 5 kind of stabilized. They started off the game on kind of a bad foot, a couple of bad rotations, that kind of thing. They've evened up the tower trade. They've got double the kills, even Ocean Drakes. Now they're actually up about 1,000 gold, a little bit more than 1,000 gold, as long as Tanzo doesn't get caught here. Oh, no. Okay.
Oh, good flash from
the chain slow.
And he's got the Inspire as well to be able to escape, but forced to burn that flash as the final tier 1 turret will get broken from Dynasty.
Yeah, pretty good job. Again, they were on the back foot with the dragon, and I respect the fact that rather than trying to take a losing fight, most likely in the bottom lane, they rotate up top, put pressure onto Tanzo, burn his flash, and then get that top tower so they have a little more pressure. Still gold advantage side of Recon 5, but certainly two compositions are relatively even footing at the moment.
Yeah. No. Kessler gonna have to back off a little bit. Sandillion is sitting on his own control board, but Kessler is being sensible enough not to push too far out, as we're going to see potentially just a little bit of a setup for Baron. I don't think either teams are really going to start Baron just yet.
I'm still losing my mind at the fact that Kessler decided to go this super scaling build, and he's not getting all that punished for it. Like, he's down 500 gold.
Oh, Swifty's going to go in, but the culling gets cancelled. And that's a good disengage from Recon 5.
Really well done there. Fantastic job. I don't know who canceled it, but it was really, really well done.
I think it might have been the Infernal Chain from Sandillion.
Was it? Yeah. It was either that, or I thought maybe the Vanguard, I think it's called Vanguard's Edge, or Steadfast Presence, that's what it is.
Yes,
Steadfast Presence from Poppy might have canceled the dash when he was trying to dash with the culling on. Oh.
Potentially. As we're just going to see once again a bit of a stalemate coming through. 9 kills in 20 minutes, not being the fastest paced game of the series. But again, I feel like Recon 5 happy to take this to the late game with the Varus versus this Lucian.
It gets better for the Varus as the game goes on. At this point in the game, I think he's actually quite a ways stronger. Once he gets Rageblade online, he becomes terrifying in team fights as well. The big thing is just that, like, again, if he's out of position even slightly and Yumi catches him with a Q or an Olaf catches him with an axe, they can just chain slow him. Because I actually didn't even realize this, but both of them slow with their Qs that are both ranged. They can just continue to chain slow anybody they want to death. So if you're out of position or too far up on the side of Recon 5, Olaf with the Yumi attach is going to run you down whether he has ultimate or not.
As Georgian just poking a little bit with the undertow. Just gonna sidestep, but here comes Dandelion. Oh, Yuki Bunny just missing the chain of corruption. Very, very close. And once again, we're seeing so many close shaves coming through. And if we just get one solid CC landing, potentially we can finally get a kill. Dandelion.
I appreciate that Recon 5 is continuously probing for some of these kills. Moody's throwing spears, Yuki Bunny trying with the chain, Boom Hunter dashing in with the E, and then obviously the Aatrox trying to find things with the chains and whatnot. It just makes them, it keeps Dynasty on their toes. It means they have to stay honest with their gameplay, don't just get to kind of sit there, poke away, do what they want. The big thing is I think both teams are a little lax on their vision control right now. We're 23 minutes in, not tons of it from either team. We need to see more of it on the map from both of them because that's going to play a massive role in how these fights take place. Whether Olaf can get a good flank off, whether the...
And see, the next Drake is going to be an Infernal, which is spawning in just over half a minute. And that's going to be pretty big. And we're also seeing Dynasty. They had been going for a bit of a 1-3-1 setup with Rat and Kessler just split pushing in the side lanes.
Not a bad place to be. Again, Kessler with the on-hit build is kind of scary to be. But obviously, without Blade of the Rune King finished quite yet, it is pretty easy for Tanza to stay in lane. He's not under any threat of really being just like purely annihilated in the 1v1. With the magic resist that he has on a couple of items, and the Q, the W, keep him healthy enough. Oh, this Infernal Drake's a big point of contention, though.
Yeah, and I've just been saying that we hadn't seen any real fight coming in, just a lot of disengages, but with Infernal Drake on the cards, this might force an all-out 5v5.
They actually have a really good dragon take here with the Nidalee and the Varus if they're able to get enough damage. The Rageblade Varus is doing so much.
Oh. The culling's not going to be enough to steal, as there's a good smite coming in from Moody to secure that Infernal Drake, bringing it 2 Drakes apiece between Recon 5 and Dynasty eSports, as Georgian just chasing for a bit, but going to back off once they make it to mid lane. As Tonzo.
Brad's still split pushing pretty effectively here on the bottom side of the map. He's able to find quite a bit. Yeah, it's only now that Tom's able to respond to him when the wave starts to crash into his tower. This could actually be a massive point of contention as the game goes on, is Rat's ability to just take towers almost immediately with his on-hit Nico build versus the ability of Tonzo to respond to him in the split push scenario.
We'll have to see how this split push matchup goes between Tonzo and Rat, but now that Recon 5 have this Infernal Drake, Yuki Bunny, Dandelion, and Moody just going to be so much bigger in these skirmishes.
That's not a bad thing, but again, I want to point out Kessler somehow snuck through maybe one of the largest power troughs I've ever seen someone purposely build for, and just came out clean on the other side. 2 deaths, obviously, but in terms of gold, Kessler's actually up 100 on Dandelion, who's like 3-0 and running at right now on the Aatrox. Somehow sneaking through the Rod of Ages and the Archangels and the Sorc Shoes. Now also picking up a needlessly large rot. So she gets to Rabadons before any real aggression has happened. Like I said, look at the gold. They were up a few thousand, up a little bit, quite a ways. Now Recon 5 starting to, fall back. Now they're in a deficit in gold as opposed to Dynasty. Like I said, they can't just continue to play passively. They need to force something to happen. Otherwise, they're going to keep taking advantage of these items that you're buying.
Yeah. And the gold practically dead even now, but all about where that gold is. Tonzo with over a 1k gold disadvantage to Rat. As you would say, Rebel, should have taken the kleptomancy.
Should have taken the kleptomancy. Both of them, honestly. Like I said, Rat's ability to take towers is not going to be understated by any stretch of imagination. But Tonzo did it in game 1. In game 1, he won with Kleptomancy. Like, why did that not come back out?
Boom Hunter.
Thankfully, there were
again,
three members sitting behind him, so he can just get.
Oh, Swifty takes a lot of damage. Moody coming in final chapter. Will get burned. We finally get the fight as the ultimate comes through from Poppy to knock Swifty away. No kills just yet, but there you have it. Sindillion finding the kill onto Dorjan as Moody actually gets taken down. But look who's split pushing in the bot lane. Rat is onto the inhibitor turret. 4 members of Recon 5 on the Baron. 3 members of the Dynasty to disengage. Kessler gonna flash over the wall. He's gonna be able to survive. Heroic charge coming onto Swifty. The cleanse comes in. Swifty will find one. He can't find a second. But Rat is still split pushing as he's gonna be able to get the inhibitor turret. He's going for the inhibitor. And this is absolutely fantastic stuff from the Nico as... Oh, that's a great prowling projectile from Friesman to deny so much more. The Chains of Corruption will come in. Tonzo falls. Friesman surely gonna fall against Sendillion. Actually, he's gonna survive. He's got the final chapter through. He's not gonna get the CC, but he's gonna sidestep one Darkin Blade. He's gonna be able to latch onto Dorjan, and now Dorjan will turn the tides and pick up the shutdown. 7 kills to 9.
Yeah, this is the frustration you run if you want to take a look at this gameplay, but seriously, Rat doesn't even have to leave the bottom lane. All he's doing is sitting there. He forces somebody to be there. Tonzo's the best choice because he's the least likely to make massive impacts in the laning phase. Aatrox doesn't have TP, so he can't do it, and it's not like you want to put this Nico, or you don't want to put Varus into this lane. He doesn't have TP either. So the only choice you have is to put this Karma there. Karma's just not getting it done. Now Rat just gets to walk through. It looked like the Baron wasn't a terrible idea, but just too much damage comes out of the side of Dynasty. Now they're in a fantastic position in the game.
And they had that entire fight around Baron as a 4v5 in Dynasty, coming out huge with this split push from Rat. Still has the TP available, and potentially now they're just going to send him into the top lane and let him do the same thing all over again.
And then they might. Again, there's like no vision on the map right now for the side of Recon 5. Like they're getting caught.
It looks like they might be sending out, catching out Boom Hunter. Here comes the culling. Boom Hunter will be able to get over the wall, flashes over into the Crux Bay, but Moody gets taken down. Chains of Corruption comes through. Sindillion fighting damage as the Infernal Chains won't be able to find his mark. Shockwave is gonna land. Sendillion is gonna fall. The double kill onto Rat. It's 3 kills for nothing for Dynasty eSports as they make their way over to Baron to collect their spoils.
That is crazy right now. Like I said, Recon 5, they have ways to try to get this, but there's no vision down. So basically, Boom Hunter was sitting on a ward that entire time, almost gets chased down, and basically leads them to the rest of their team. So Moody goes down in the process. Sindillion almost got a couple of kills during that process, but no one was there for Yuki Bunny to peel him off either. And Karma was nowhere near the fight. So this is just rough for Recon 5. They're not able to find fights where they can play as 5 members, able to use the strengths of this composition. This is what happens when you play passively in that mid game. They had ways, they had goals, they had gold, they had possibility of pressuring, and they just didn't take it. Now they're kind of getting caught up with, and Dynasty has a good team fighting comp, and they're making it work right now.
Dynasty able to secure that Ocean Drake as well, and just in case you didn't think Rat split pushing was strong enough, he now has that Baron buff as well, and coupled with that Mountain Drake that he already had, that's going to be a lot of damage to turrets.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is like if you look at the side of Dynasty, their Olaf isn't that tanky. Like he has the passive, he has his ultimate passive that gives him that armor and magic. If they start running at somebody, all he's really got is the Ninja Tabi and the Spirit Visage. Like he pops very quickly with just a little bit of damage from Moody and from Yuki Bunny, and still they're finding massive engagements because they're getting picks over and over again with the chain slow from Dorjan, from Friesman. Like I said, it's like they're not playing this properly on the side of Recon 5. They have ways to break this composition when it's played the way it should, and instead they just found a new way to play it.
Right now, you've got the top and mid waves getting pushed in. Swifty splitting in the top lane. He's going to be able to take down the turret. Now he's looking to turn it around onto Thompson. Sorry, Rat, not Swifty. As in the mid lane, the third and final inhibitor turret will be secured. Swifty now on the inhibitor. Can they find it? Recon 5, are they going to bite? Chains of Corruption comes through. That's a good dash to avoid the keeper's verdict from Boom Hunter. But look at this, Rat, he's taken the second inhibitor. The third inhibitor is gonna fall. Rat backs off temporarily. Zendilion looking to find something. The Ragnarok comes in. This is a clean fight from Dynasty. They find the fifth, they find the ace, and Dynasty are gonna take game 5 and move to second place in the ABL standings.
And not only that, that's Recon's first legitimate series loss in, what is it now, 20 games, 26 games? Something like that. This is the first legitimate loss that they've had in a series in a long, long time. This is a fantastic win for Dynasty to get some momentum going in the league. Obviously, they're in second place, but a win like this doesn't make you feel like you're in second place. It makes you feel like a champion right now.
Yeah, and that was just so well played by Dynasty in the final game. You know, we talked about the Kingslayers of Team Fish Tacos last week getting that one game off from Recon 5, and that's almost started, you know, a kind of downhill trend for Recon 5.
That it did. Like I said, they're playing very, very high-level teams, but it doesn't matter, man. Like, they have ways to win in all of them. And Dynasty, they almost won game 1. This was nearly a 2-0. They didn't even have their support in for that game. So, like I said, they were back and forth a good amount of the series. There were ways for both teams to win. It just felt like Dynasty was a lot more focused in on playing the composition they wanted and having their way to win be playing the 5v5 as opposed to Recon 5 just kind of playing the disjointed composition. This felt like the best composition they put together, and they still lost on it.
Yeah, and we saw from Recon 5, Zendilion was so big in that early part of the game, 3-0-1, but they just weren't able to get anything through on it. Meanwhile, Rat with that on-hit build, split pushing so much, able to find so much for Dynasty, and he was just huge for them.
Yeah, like I said, they stalled through the mid game. They had Zendilion. They even had Yuki Bunny in very good spots as opposed to their lane opponents, and they just weren't able to get anything done in the mid game. They had no pressure. They had no macro really to speak of whatsoever, and their warding across the map was just abysmal. And then that led to Rat getting massive split push, losing fights around the Baron pit, and that was basically it. I know that Recon 5 plays this game very, very well. They didn't look like it tonight. Tonight was not their night.
From Dynasty then, they pick up the victory, the 2-1. Rebel, who was your personal MVP in this series?
Oh man, this is a tough choice. This is so hard to actually consider. You know what? I have to be 100% honest with you. I'm gonna give it to Freeze Man. Like, the Nami was amazing and his Yumi was good, but consider game 1, the only difference between game 1, game 2, and game 3 was Freeze Man. Like, this man. Oh my god. Right. How about Rat? Let's get Rat in here.
Okay. Apparently Friesman wasn't free for an interview, so we're going to be going over to Rat.
Oh, hello.
Hey, dude. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing great.
I mean, obviously, you guys took down pretty decent team in Recon 5 after having just a huge series. You're the Kingslayers. You're the ones that brought them down. How does that feel? Your team just ecstatic to take this win?
Yeah, feels really good. There's been a lot of build up to this ever since we made the team. We scrimmed them early on when we made the team, and there's just been a big rivalry. And I'm good friends with Tonza, so.
Yeah, I gotcha. Through most of the series, you guys played pretty traditional 5v5 team composition where it's like you're looking for team fights most of the time. How did it feel playing into somebody that was, not at that style? Were you guys comfortable playing the 5v5 into a non-traditional team composition, or was that a little weird to work?
So the first game, that was really weird for us. Most people probably don't have experience against that comp, like the 3 supports and Vi. And we weren't really sure what we were supposed to do against it, and I think we took too many fights mid-game. And we had to wait out until maybe the shields fell off, but yeah, I don't know. we didn't know how to react to that. But then after that, we kind of realized that if they're just gonna send Karma top and pick like supports, then we can just win through split.
Clearly, that strategy won for you. This game, you were at a gold disadvantage. You were down at least a little bit towards the middle of the game. The game stalled out from Recon side, 5 side, and then we saw you take that massive push on the bot side where you basically ran down an inhibitor while your team fought off Baron. What's the calls like? What's the communication like? Do you feel comfortable in that kind of mindset?
Yeah, so I was surprised. I was pretty weak for most of the game, but I got a lot of I just got a lot of gold mid game. I was farming lots of camps and stuff, and I got items, and then I'm like, oh, I can just murder these turrets while they try and group. So the communication was basically just wait for items, because we decided that we outscaled because we had an Ori with Tier and Rod of Ages and going for Rabadons, and we also have a split pusher who they can never answer, so we just played to scale.
Absolutely. And a game win like this, where you're taken against the other team that's in second place, especially one with a pedigree of Recon 5. Are you looking forward to playing somebody? I think it's First Blood Marauders that are currently undefeated across the entire league. You looking forward to a game like that? Do you think you have a win against that team?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I think they're a really, really good team. We scrimmed them, and they did some things where I was like, I didn't know they could do that. They did things where I'm like, oh, that I didn't know they could like end the game there.
Yeah.
So they're really good. But I think we're gonna be improving, and I think we can take them down.
Awesome. That's it from me. Milky, do you have anything?
I've got a quick question. Last week, or when Rebel and I were casting, we brought in Tonzo for a quick interview, and we asked him, are there any other teams? Are there any other top laners that he's scared of? And he was like, nah, there's no one else out there. You mentioned you're good friends with them. Are you going to be having some words with them afterwards?
Oh, actually, I think you made a mistake. He shouted me out at the end of the interview.
Oh, did he?
He did, yeah. He did. Rap was the only one who could.
Yeah, he wasn't scared of the team, though. He was only scared of me, so I don't know. I think we proved that our team is good, too.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll rephrase. I'll hindsightedly rephrase that then. But no, a great job from you, right? Congratulations and a fantastic win.
Shoutouts.
Yeah.
Do you have any shoutouts?
Shoutouts. Ooh. Not really. Just my team. My team's been doing good. We lost our ADC. I guess shout out to Swifty, because he filled in, and he doesn't actually have an incentive, because we can't actually stick with him long term, because he's in one of the other leagues that we're playing in on another team, but he's still helping us out until we find a new ADC.
All right. Well, shout out to Dynasty, shout out to Swifty. Well done by Dynasty, obviously taking a big win and a big statement win in the league. Congratulations to you guys.
All right then, so a massively great result then from Dynasty eSports, able to be the first team to take down Recon 5 in quite a long time over a best of 3 series. However, guys, that is it for today. Don't forget, if you haven't already, do hit us up with a follow. We will be back next week, Monday, 8 p.m. EST. And guess what? It's going to be Dynasty eSports again, taking on the current top seed of First Blood Marauders. So do tune in then. But from myself and from the Prophet, Rebel Fox, we wish you a very good night.